Can y'all hear us? Okay, and let's see how many people joined the show. And also, I'm gonna post on Rumble and so on. Y'all hear? Okay, that's here. There. Where am I talking? Okay, that's right here. Okay, so we're live. Okay, yeah. So just to show you guys what the audience will be seeing. Here's the YouTube stream. Let's see how many people joined the show. So this is like basically my screen. Okay, so we have rotary motion says I can now audio is good, and there's how you guys will be shown. And then throughout that I can like move it around and so on. I can move this and the audience can see bigger. But anyways, yeah. So we're live, and then okay, Timothy Sullivan's in the house as well. They says yeah. So it says I can now audio is good. Yes, hello. So you guys want to say hi just to test out if it's working. So guys, can you guys hear Jeane and John?
Hi. How you doing, guys?
All right. Yeah. How's audio, guys? How's their audio? Just you guys can just test, say hello, testing, etc. Whatever you guys want to say, and then we'll go.
Hello, testing. Hello, testing.
Okay. I think it's yeah. They should be fine. Can you guys hear them? Okay. I see there. It's sometimes I think YouTube's like a few seconds delayed, so then they can see it. Okay. Tammy says yellow. Okay. Yes, both rotary matrix. Okay, so they can hear us and so on. Okay. So I'm gonna send you guys the link to the links. Yeah, so yep, Timmy Sullivan can hear us fine, and so on. So there's a link. Basically, I throw everything in there, and you can follow along, and so on. And yeah, so anyways, without further ado, yeah, so we have two special guests, Jeane Manning and John Hutchison. So you guys know John Hutchison, and then Jeane Manning is yeah. So I think John was an email thread. You got he told me that I should get you on the show, and then I looked at your. I think I actually shared some of your stuff from Substack without even realizing it was you, because I shared this actual photo on my Telegram, and then I shared a link to your the article because this is the highest quality version I found. Because John sent me some emails with this, but it was like a screenshot. Oh, no, he took a photo of his computer that had the photo. All right.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, so we have people can hear us, and yeah, so without further ado, I'm just gonna read this, and then we'll get you guys to I'll introduce Jeane. I could read your bio, or you could or you can tell the audience, etc. Basically, however, whatever we feel is best. Anyway, so MES Livestream 96, guys. Jeane Manning and John Hutchison join the show. Breakthrough energy researcher and author Jeane Manning joins the show with our good friend John Hutchison to talk about their decades-long work in the realm of hidden energy and suppressed technologies. And I'm just gonna do some quick housekeeping, and then I'll just send it to the audience quickly right here. I think I wrote it right here. Yeah. So in 2 weeks, I'm gonna stream with Dr. Charles Hoff and Dr. Stephen Maltos. That's coming in a few weeks. But also the other thing, this is also I want to point out is that Hutchison. Apparently, there's going to be a Hutchison replication attempt in Kelowna, BC, with Bob Greener. Jeane, are you going to this one, or are you made aware of this? Have you heard about this, Jeane?
I'm not sure that it's in Kelowna. They might be wanting to keep the exact location confidential because of the privacy of the person that owns the lab. But it'll be in the Kelowna area.
Okay.
And I might not go to it. I remember when Bob visited Penticton, which is nearby to Kelowna, in December, and his hostess was Carmen Miller, and we had meetings there. And then I decided that I wouldn't push myself into the event in the lab in another place, just because the lab owner wanted to kind of not have a lot of people coming into that demo. It would have been dangerous if there were, so I thought I'd set an example and not ask to go into that one, but I watched. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. So it's basically gonna be somewhere close to Kelowna, I assume, somewhere around there. And yeah. So yeah. Basically, if I asked Bob, yeah, Bob messaged there because I think he wanted George Hathaway to go as well, but George Hathaway, I believe he has cancer right now, so he won't be attending that. But I'm definitely like if I'm made aware of where it is, and if they give me the okay, I'll definitely go there. And it'd be amazing if I could stream it as well, because Bob Greener live streamed the last event. Yeah. So and I believe they were able to obtain a few minor effects, like the computers started glitching, and then one of the one of the pliers got like split in half. And also in another part here. So you actually live in Kelowna, Jeane, and yeah. So like I was saying, my cousin, I was gonna go visit him. I visited him last year as well. So August long weekend, I'm probably gonna go there with my brothers, and so we can visit you there if you're nearby. And yeah, it'd be pretty amazing. So my cousin actually has he's similar to me. He looks like me. He doesn't have hair. Has a beard, and he also has a podcast. He has a really popular one. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but he does like more on the conspiracy side. Eyes is watching. So this is my cousin.
What's the name of his podcast?
Eyes is watching. He's pretty big on BitChute. I think he's like banned on YouTube on most yeah. So this is BitChute. He's pretty big. You can see it. So this is the cousin there. Last year I actually did the stream at his place. He let me do the stream with his computer because I was going on because I had to do So I didn't want to skip my streaming setup, and I also had a bunch of people from the 9/11 scene on there as well, so that was quite interesting. Yeah, so yeah, this is him, and so and he's pretty big on BitChute, and yeah, so that's him. Yeah, and he looks just like me. All right. Anyways, let's go further, guys. So if you guys wanna, so I'm gonna read a bio right here of Eugene, and then we can discuss and so on, and also if there's any questions from the audience and so on, and also BitChute is banned in UK now. Yeah, that is actually true. So BitChute is actually banned in the UK. So Jeane, this is your bio from your website as well. So Jeane Manning is an internationally known author who has been tracking breakthrough energy inventions and related issues for more than 30 years. Her university degree is sociology, and her passion is advocating for clean air, soil, and water. Her books have been published in a dozen languages. Her most recent book is Hidden Energy: Tesla-Inspired Inventors and a Mindful Path to Energy. And then Abundance, co-authored with Susan Manowich, 2019, and available on Amazon. And then Jeane's previous books are The Coming Energy Revolution. This is published in 1996. Was this your presentation you did it on? This was, I think that was the same title of that conference. And Angels Don't Play This Harp, co-authored with Dr. Nick Begich. And then Begich. Okay, Begich. Pronunciation is not my forte. And then Granite Mine and the Butterfly Project Magnet Energy, and co-authored books such as Suppressed Inventions and Other Discoveries, and also Breakthrough Power: How Quantum Leap Energy Inventions Can Transform Our World, co-authored with Joel Carbon and so on. Yeah, so, and you also attended over 30 conferences. So again, it's some mind-boggling stuff. And then the question I want to ask is basically, how did you come across Dr. John Hutchison? And then if you guys want to discuss how this photo is, a lot of people ask me, is this a real photo? Why is Jim Carrey there?
You tell him, John, it's real, isn't it?
Big pardon?
Yeah. So,
you tell him about the photo. It is real, isn't it?
Yes. So why is Jim Carrey there? Thomas Bearden.
Hard to see it. Such a small. I got such a small. Maybe I can enlarge this somehow.
Yeah. You could be able to pin it. I think there should be a way to enlarge it.
Let me just go this way.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, you can see. You can see it better now.
Yeah. 1994.
1994.
Colorado. Yeah, Colorado, at the famous hotel used in the TV show Shining.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeane's in here. Myself, many of the other scientists. It was a kind of an epic kind of adventure. This place. I met Kirk Sachter of Star Trek. I stayed in his house for a couple of weeks. There's Thomas Bearden, Dr. Andrew McCrosky, George Hathaway. It's an epic photograph. And Jeane Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Jeane again?
This one here, the sunglasses. Yeah, the sunglasses.
Yeah,
I could zoom in to So and basically for the audience, because remember you told me, John, that so you guys were at the energy conference, and it was at the same place that the Dumb and Dumber was being filmed.
No,
the TV show.
The big conference was down in Colorado, but this was a private meeting ahead of time, by invitation only, and I was only invited because Brian O'Leary invited me to be there. But the rest of them were all scientists and or partners of scientists, like Meredith, Brian's partner, and Yin. And it was epic.
All right.
Yes. Dennis, we posted it. Remember, Jeane?
What?
Dennis Weaver posted it.
Yes, Dennis Weaver was helping. Yeah, he gave the talk down in Denver, the luncheon talk, the opening talk of the conference and everything. Well, not the luncheon talk, that was Jean Mallet, but yeah, the opening of the conference. And this meeting up in Colorado was funded by a wealthy man that lived in Colorado. And that's how Toby Groats was sent on a round the world tour after that to visit. Or no, before that. Okay, now I remember. There was another conference in Colorado about a year before this one. And at that one, then this wealthy man decided to fund Toby Groats and another conference. So Toby had already been around the world and met with Tawari and some of these other people that he brought in, Stefan Marinoff standing there behind Tawari. And yeah, he'd visited Bruce De Palma on his tour, but maybe Bruce had died by then, wasn't in here. And yeah, Dumb and Dumber was being filmed at the Stanley Hotel at the same time that these smart and smarter scientists like John were there meeting. So the lunchroom talks were pretty interesting. The crew from Dumb and Dumber liked to hang out with these scientists and got a really big kick out of it. So Jim Carrey came out and photobombed us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was at the same hotel. So it was a private event, like for the people from the conference, and by the rich. What was the guy's name? The rich owner. Because I put it in my. I got the so I got the story a bit mixed up when I when I wrote it in my Telegram. But I will just update that later. But it was close enough. Basically, I thought it was a conference, and I just want to get.
Well, there was a conference down in Denver after this one. Yeah, mm-hmm. I remember I sat beside Hal Puthoff on the ride back down to Denver, and I was too shy to. Okay. If I could go back to that moment and be more aggressive about asking questions.
Yeah, definitely. And then I believe John got a award. John, you got this award from there. This was the first symposium on new energy in Denver, and you were giving an award for free energy device. Let's see. John, this is a photo that you sent me of that you took of your iPad.
Yeah, that was awarded to me by Dennis Weaver.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, it was a Stanley Steamer Hotel, which was used in the TV show or movie The Shining, by the way.
Okay.
Stanley Steamer.
No, that's great. And then I think one thing for my own sake, I want to go through all the names. If you can tell, like, basically, if you remember any of the names, like all the names. So this person here, who is the one with the glasses right here on the bottom left?
My Andrew Makrowski.
Andrew Makrowski. Okay, and there's the big fellow is Thomas Bearden.
Yes.
Yeah, and then this one right here, is that Tawari? Or someone know which one was?
No, Tawari's down in the lower right.
Oh, this one's Tawari. Yeah,
yes,
that's the one. Okay. Yeah, I saw brown guy and I'm like, all right. Yeah.
And Stefan Marinoff from Bulgaria is right behind him.
This one here.
Okay,
and then there's Yin Gaza, there's John, there's Eugene, and yeah, and let's see who else. There's Jim Carrey. Anybody else? This guy here is very familiar. Where is this guy from? This guy with the Einstein hair.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think he was from Britain, but I can't really remember who he is.
Okay.
I'd say I'll remember half of them.
Yeah, and then Jim Carrey was in his robe though. So, because this is a hotel, was he doing a skit or was he just getting out of the pool or something?
I think he just got out of the pool and somebody said, "Oh, you got to go out and see what all the scientists are all together out on the front steps."
Right.
And the hotel was decorated for Dumb and Dumber. It looked like a Christmas scene. Remember that, John?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was wild. It was fun. Mm-hmm. George Hathaway's in here somewhere.
George Hathaway in this photo? Is Hathaway in this photo?
I
don't remember him being there.
Okay.
Yeah, I got photos. I got a number of photos.
Okay, I'm trying to think about this person looks a bit familiar. No, this one right here is a bit familiar. What?
Oh, that's Brian O'Leary.
Okay, that's Brian O'Leary. Okay, And then
And
there's
Meredith is trying to get his hair into shape.
there's
Yeah.
another one. This one again. This guy here in the top again. He's very familiar. I just don't know where it's from.
Yeah, if you can, somebody can come up with a name, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then see, is there anybody else? Yeah, there's nobody else that I.
Well, let's see. Maury King is look above Jim Carrey and off to the left a little bit in a dark blue shirt. That's Maury King.
This one right here.
Yeah, and then just above and to the left of him is Toby Groats, who I'll be seeing middle of July at the USPA conference. We're going to have a panel on free energy and speakers on free energy at the US Psychotronics conference in the Chicago area, but people can get the virtual, watch it virtual.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, it picks up. Yeah, and
so there's other interesting people there. Yeah, Toby's wife is off to the right with the pretty red hair below me.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is a flashback. Because again, Dumb and Dumber was one of my favorite movies growing up. It still is. it's just too funny.
George Wiseman is in there. Let's see. Where's George?
Which one is George Wiseman?
Move off to the. Well, while I'm looking for him, behind Jim Carrey and off to the left is the wife of Win Lambert, and right behind is Dr. Wingate Lambertson, that I will be writing about in my Substack, because he had a process that kind of relates to what people are talking about now. So let's see who else. Still looking for George Wiseman to go off to the right. You see anybody else, John? Oh, Dr. Gurneau. Okay, back down to Jim Carrey, and then just up to the right of him with the white hair was Dr. Peter Gurneau, MIT physicist. He did some. George Hathaway was involved in his work at some point.
No, this is great stuff, and if we can find it. Yeah, John, do you see anybody else in this or no?
No,
Okay.
I got other photos of this here before and then after, but I forget who sent them to me, but I have them somewhere.
Okay, all right, that's good. But yeah, so we can get back to this later. I just want to see what else we have in the notes right here, and so that thumbnail I actually got it from here, from your Substack. So if you guys haven't subscribed to our Substack, and I like it, the name is Ether Or. All right, Ether or 0 point. What do you say when? Can you give a little bit explanation? So your title of this, Ether Or. That's your title of your Substack. Why the name Ether Or? If you can.
Well, I wanted to have ether in the title because people are rediscovering that there is this background energy of the universe. And, the physics journals use the term 0 point energy, but that's really what Tom Bearden told me, that 0 point is a little more limited view of the energy, because, they call it 0 point because at 0 degrees Kelvin, then there's still a little bit of jiggling going on at the subatomic level. But I was looking at some messages came in. So the ether is being rediscovered because the all this nonsense about dark energy is not going anywhere. They're not getting answers to their questions of why the standard model of physics has some problems, especially with all the discoveries from James Webb telescope and all the new discoveries showing that there are definite gaps in the standard model, the questions it's still not answering, whereas the ether theories can answer a lot of what are mystifying the astrophysicists as they're finding things out there in outer space that, hey, this doesn't fit in with our standard model.
Yeah.
You know.
No, definitely.
And so it's not the old ether 19th century view, but rather a more dynamic, like what Hal Puthoff called, seething, hyperactive or superactive, like foaming water at the base of a waterfall is an analogy he'd used for how the seething energetic motions that are going on at subquantal level.
No, definitely. And when you speak ether, the mainstream always points to this one, the Michael Olsen-Morley experiment. But they always have like this limited view of this ether is like a separate substrate that just flows or whatnot. It's very even hard to understand exactly what they're even indicating here. But yeah, definitely I'm on the side of ether. And the other part is like when you speak of cosmology and so on, what's like there's a little it's like that effect that I think what I call the elephant in the room is a Hutchison effect. It's like the current mainstream doesn't explain it or even pretends like it doesn't exist. But it's like, well, you got to be able to explain the Hutchison effect somehow. And the ether models that does bring some possible explanation, but also the ether. If you look at the acronym, it's an acronym for Earth. If you rearrange the letters, you can spell Earth with ether.
Oh,
yeah. Also, father. I think it's like father that has it's like the EATHR. It's always there in like almost everything. And so on, yeah. So you could also, it's like a mother, father, earth. They're all just somehow. It's like they all have the similar base letters in there, and so on. And
I never thought of that before. Did you just come up with that?
Yeah, but I actually wrote a big piece on this anti-gravity part 6. It was actually so a lot of people talk about anti-gravity cosmology and stuff. Like even the Hutchison effect and so on, but like. I'm pretty sure a gyroscope is anti-gravity. I'll go to father right here. I think I put it Earth. Yeah, so the ether. I think there's some other ones. I did something. I basically I called a reality. I call it MES duality in some sort of I think I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Yeah, so Earth. There's another one. I think I put. It's been a while since I looked at a bunch of the stuff on there. Yeah, so Earth is ether without the extra E there. You'll see a lot of stuff is very. It's like a lot of the occult stuff tied in with the ether. Let's see if I could. I'll do it for another day. I just want to wrap my head around on that. But the key part it all stems from first the Hutchison effect, also 9/11 and so on, but also experiments. So like these conferences and so on. It's like I would like if somebody just grasps how important gyroscopes are. Like you've seen gyroscopes and so on, right? Have you ever played with one? Just to.
I remember Eric Laithwaite was a big name in UK as a scientist experimenting, and I think you've done stuff on that, haven't you?
Yeah. Eric Laithwaite is the one that I came across it when I saw the gyroscope rising. Like he was able to lift it. I'm like, all right, that's anti-gravity. The most popular video of that is actually mine, on like of his like the most upload. I uploaded it from his. If I go to anti-gravity series, peaked. Okay. So yeah, these are my anti-gravity playlists right here. So I posted his thingy right here, his rising on its own. I mean him rising it like lifting it just a heavy wheel. You've seen this one or no? The Eric Laithwaite one. Have you seen this one where he lifts a 50-pound wheel?
Yeah, and I'm just wishing that, John, I wish that back when I first met you, I wish I understood more because, in those early years of my learning about this field, you could have taught me a lot more if I had more background understanding. Mm-hmm. I mean, you were patient with me as a journalist coming along and asking questions. But I wish I could go back to a lot of the parts of my life where I could ask a lot more intelligent questions because I would have understood more.
Yeah.
But that was where
we understand that. We understand. I know a lot of people because
Can't hear you.
Oh, can't hear me?
Just speak a
Now
bit
I
louder,
can.
John. Yeah, a bit louder, John.
Yeah, lots I could learn going back in time too. Really. I met a lot of scientists and people and stuff over the years. Do a lot of stuff. I can learn a lot more. I'm learning something new every day, actually, to be honest.
Me too. Yeah, it's fun, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I'd be in a rocking chair by this age, but the fun is just really getting rolling, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're just starting to rock along better. I mean, I'm rocking chair. Oh, not me. No. Not you. I don't see it.
Yeah, definitely. And to speak about the technical side of the gyroscope one, the reason I bring it up, I'll just to show you something. It says most people don't quite understand, even on the technical side. It's like there's very few people that understand the technical sides of a gyroscope, and also how know how it works from the mainstream side. But it's I just want to. Oh, did I miss something right here? 1 second. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to go right here. Okay. So this is the thing I want to show before we get further. So most people, that when they think of gyroscopes, they don't realize what it can actually do. Like this right here. So what do you think will happen if I just place a gyroscope? Like even Eric Lathwaite never knew this. So anyone that's technical, it's not even about that. It's like this right here. Any university book you go to, they don't even know this exists. Like this right here. So if you ever played with one, so again, you don't need any technical background besides, like right now, what do you think will happen with the gyroscope right now? If I spin it, put it on axle, can you see my screen? Just to show you. So Jeane, what do you think will happen here?
I haven't seen this. I don't know.
But have you ever dealt with a gyroscope where it's just like Eric Lathwaite never even came across this either, which is just place it on its side. And then it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up on its own. So it's like this is one I kind of realized. Like, am I the only one that's seeing this? I feel like I'm in the Matrix story. So if I played faster, it just goes up. So again, it's not supposed to go up. So if you go to Wikipedia and read up on gyroscopes, you go to university, ask a professor. They don't even know this is possible. So it's like, am I in a different planet right now? So I'll make it faster speed just to see what's happening. So it's losing spin speed, but then it's going up. It's like...
Yeah.
So it's like... and I'm like, am I the only one that just... that realizes this is anti-gravity? Okay, it's not going down, it's going up.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, so this one, okay, so... and then I came up with another discovery. This one, a few people knew about this, but nobody, it's like, there's no mainstream explanation for this. There's not even a mainstream, like, acknowledgement of this. Like, universities don't even know that this goes up. So it's kind of like like what I just showed you is like a glitch in the Matrix. and then going further, one last one. So this was it going up. And now I'll show you. Then I was trying to make it go up faster. So this was an accidental discovery, another accidental one. This one nobody else has ever done this. So I added a counterweight so that it can go up faster. So like here's the counterweight. So I added a counterweight right there. So I added this weight so that if it torques down, the gyroscope should be pushed up, right? Okay. So then all right, and then I was trying to make it go. Put on a string, put a counterweight, so that my hopes was it goes up faster. And then so here's what happens. I think I spin it up. Okay, so I'm gonna spin it up. I'll put some sound on maybe here. Yeah, I spin up. Okay, these two discoveries. This one as well is just kind of. I think I'll spin up right here. Here's a spin up. I just spin up with a Dremel. And okay, anyways, I spin it up, and now. And then, so I wanted to go faster, then it wasn't doing anything, but I usually just want to film the whole thing, so then I just left I think I left the room and I came back, and then I'm like, what is going on? So what do you think is going to happen? So I wanted to go up faster by putting a counterweight. Right, so what do you think will happen here?
Is it wanting to go forward?
Well, right now, it's like, it's almost balanced, but I had a counterweight, so it should go up. All right, and notice now notice what is happening. It's lifting the counterweight up. Like, all right, now it's going down. So again, from a technical perspective, you're not going to be able to find a mainstream technical explanation for this. There is none. There literally is none. So this one, I have a theory that it's the ether mumbo jumbo, ether dynamics, and so on. Just how inertia is. So this is basically showing inertia is not what we seemed with, and so on. So again, now it went down. Okay, so that's pretty epic. So again, I have infinite more gyroscope stuff that I've discovered. We'll do one more, and then we'll get back into our shenanigans. Because especially when you're a free energy movement, and it's like everyone's doing like trying to research cold fusion, trying to get some like advanced stuff. But I'm like, the simple one here from a technical perspective, this is as irrefutable in my opinion as it gets. Where it's like no one can call themselves a physicist if they don't know that this exists. It's like, and then this is the last part here is that even though when it rises, the actual spin speed doesn't slow down any more than if you just left it on its own. So here is 3 different experiments. One of them, when you ever felt it, you could feel energy coming out of it when you torque it. It's hard to move. Yeah. So when you do that, it doesn't lose any extra spin speed or rising on its own, all relative to just keeping on. So this one here by itself, this one is rising. This one I'm torquing it. So I'm feeling a force. But I'm not getting it. But you're not losing any extra energy from the spin. So where's the force coming from? Is what I'm trying to say. You're not losing anything. So if I just fast forward, so basically gyroscopes, anti-gravity, free energy, anti-inertia. We can do that later. The big one is Eric Lathwaite kept telling people it behaves with less inertia. Nobody quite understood what he was saying except me.
So does it behave differently depending on which direction you're spinning?
No, the spin. I haven't checked like each one. I just do it. I think there isn't a big deal which direction. Like I haven't specifically checked, but there's nothing significant. If there was, it'd be a very very minuscule. So again, I'm fast forwarding, and the entire time it's still going up. This one I just left it by itself, and then they all spin for again almost the same amount of time. I'll just go fast forward over to the end. So they all die at roughly the same time, even though this was being torqued the entire time. This one's rising. This one's doing nothing. So then the question is, what is going on? Okay, I think since we're on the field of gyros, I want to do one more, but we should I'll do one more, and then we got to get back. This one here is so Eric Lathwaite kept saying this. Nobody was listening to him the entire time. He was saying that gyros behave with less inertia when they precess. So in my opinion, precession is the key to pretty much everything. I think precession is probably the key also to Hutchison effect. because something about precession which I think it links the subatomic to the physical world, to the small, to the macro, is like the precession is like a in-between zone. It's kind of behaving like a fluid and a solid at the same time. So so if you put on an ice right here, so center of mass is here, yet it's moving without moving the ice block. So the only way, like if you ever, the Olympics when you had the hammer throw, and the Olympics where they have a hammer throw and it's like they let go and it just flies away. That's because of its inertia. This one, it's like a hammer throw, but the hammer doesn't do anything. So notice how this ice block isn't moved laterally. This is again impossible in mainstream physics. There's just it's not just impossible. It's just that it's irrefutable. Like there's nothing to argue. There's just going as if it's moving as if this has no mass, or the mass is shifted over here. And then and it's also rising as well. So it's rising on its own, and so on. And then lastly. So here's what I mean by the hammer throw. So once it's losing its spin speed, now notice the ice block move now.
Uh-huh.
So now it's lost. Now it's becoming a regular mass. Now the ice block's moving. So the center mass stays center.
It's like ice skating.
Yeah. So again, these are very, very simple, and the reason, like, because like I knew the technical aspects of gyroscopes, so then when I looked at them, I'm like, it's like, all right. Then I keep trying to make them more and more absurd, like the experiments just more and more ridiculous. I think I do want I can keep going on and on. I think there's one. Yeah, I could keep going on, but it's a bit too much. The other one is, again, this is another person that was coming after the work of Eric Laithwaite. This is, a lot of people talk about over unity. This is 1,000 times torque over unity, and this is where Francis McCabe, he died I think 10 years ago. But he basically showed that a motor that can only, like, let's spin a weight that is yeah, so here he's showing a motor right here that can only spin 1 inch-pound of torque, which is basically 1 pound 1 inch away at laterally.
2.5
or 2.5
inch-pounds at 12 volts.
So this one can only power this little tiny thingy here.
So we put onto this.
And to show you how weak it is, you could stop it with your hand.
It takes nothing to stop.
So it's a very, very weak motor, but if it's in Precession, it can power up 1,000 times more. We're talking not 2x, 100% over unity. We're talking, but this is in terms of torque, and so on right here. So he's a giant heavy wheel with a tiny motor. Basically, you can use like a AA battery and power this extremely heavy, and it's also powering it up. And the thing is, it's because of Precession. Precession makes it behave as if it doesn't have any mass.
Into a spiral.
Yeah. So again, the hidden secret is gyroscopes.
That is our little.
Have you presented at any conferences, Matthew?
No, I haven't presented anything like that. The only conference I've ever done was when I was in my engineering. I was doing mining engineering. I presented for my thesis on some oil sands experiment. But I haven't presented this. But if there's any invite conference, if they pay for it, or if I can get some funding, I can definitely present this. Because again, this is the thing is, it's so simple. It's like there's just nothing. There's just it's kind of like, because if you go to Wikipedia, Precession, or Precession, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is not the ultimate source.
No, but it's the ultimate mainstream source, is what I'm trying to say. This is the mainstream narrative on anything. So if you want to know what
they have the mainstream.
Yeah, this is what I mean by the mainstream. So it's like, this is Precession. This is also ignoring that it goes up, and it's also ignoring that it's assuming that this is fixed at the bottom. So this is, if it's on an ice block, yeah, so they're ignoring that this is not supposed to be lateral like that. Like, they're not telling you that it's being held in place according to this theory. So it's ignoring the lateral movement, and it's ignoring that it goes up. So it's like, and then the only movements that they accept is nutation, where it wobbles, but there's no going up. And so on. I can keep going on. So and then most gyroscopes are forced to be stuck in an axis like this, where they can't really do much. They can't be free to rise up and down, and so on. And yeah, so yeah, if there is a conference that's willing to get me on there, that'd be pretty epic. All right.
I'm going to tell Aaron Murakami because he's planning one for next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit late for the Tesla Tech one this year.
Okay. Yeah. The gyro one is basically telling people, like, yeah, Eric Laithwaite was right, but also it's like, it's so simple that he's right that any university, if they're worth their like name, they gotta just pretty much stop everything they're doing is focus on it. And yeah, so that's that. But I don't want to make it too much about gyros. But yeah, if you can get maybe definitely if you can reach out to someone that wants to get me out there to talk a bunch of gyros. Because once you talk gyroscopes, I can talk for days.
Okay. Yeah, because where progress comes from is from people like John who do experiments.
Yeah, experiments is a big one.
Not what Bruce De Palma called the armchair physicists who talk on blackboards with a lot of math, but don't build anything.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, like I'm from a mathematical background, so it's like I know the math they're talking about. So that's why gyroscopes, there is no math that describes the behavior that it can do. There's literally none. So it's like, okay, so what's a mathematician, what's a physicist gonna? Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is like I look at both ways. I do the experiments. Experiments is the key, and then you got to work backwards. But if there's no math to do it, then that's kind of where the gyroscopes I'm kind of on my own there, because it's like there's no debunking of it, because there's even a perception of debunking, because there is literally no math for it. What I just showed you, according to the mainstream, there's no math for it. And we could I think another one speaking about the math and so on. Another experiment I'm literally in the middle of working on is you heard about the Boyd-Bushman one? This is the one the Boyd-Bushman magnet drop. Have you heard about that one?
I don't know if I know that experiment.
Okay, this was magnets and repulsion. These tests were done by John's good friend Paul Mueller, and then I told him basically I told him what to do. He has a copper pipe, and he drops these magnets, and in repulsion they drop much slower. Boyd-Bushman, I think you know Boyd-Bushman. He's one of the. Yeah.
I knew who he was. Yeah.
So Boyd-Bushman, he said he dropped magnets and repulsion from like a tall building, and it went down slower. So I'm actually I'm doing that with an Atwood machine, but I'm waiting for some epoxy glue to arrive, because I tried to glue it earlier, but it just wouldn't work. But essentially what I'll be replicating his experiment on dropping two magnets in repulsion together, and if it works, it will be another anti-gravity demonstration, which might be the easiest one anyone can do, but it's still pretty hard right here. Magnets and repulsion. So this is for John. So remember that experiment that Paul Mueller was doing? So I tried gluing these together. I left it on for a whole day, and so on, and right when I left, because I was using shoe glue, that's the only glue I had, and right away when I left it, it just popped over, and I almost pinched my fingers. But anyways, this is the hardest thing. Like magnets, put them in repulsion, so apparently they drop slower in gravity, and I'm gonna prove that using an Atwood machine that a subscriber actually bought for me. So again, at the presentation, this could be another good one. I got the Atwood machine. Just to illustrate what an Atwood machine is, this is what it is. It's just a little pulley with a string, and then it drops down slower, so that you can measure gravity a bit better, as opposed to just dropping something and it automatically drops. And basically, I'm gonna drop magnets in attraction versus repulsion. If it drops slower in repulsion, that's likely an anti-gravity effect, or interacting with the Earth's magnetic field. But anyways, I think we got some common ground there. I want to play some of the trailer right here that I made. This is from the 1988 to 1989 compilation that I also made for the George Hathaway presentation. Have you seen that presentation, Jeane, or no? The George Hathaway presentation on the Hutchison effect?
I don't know if it was one of the conferences I did, but.
But this was like Hutchison. I'll go Hutchison. So George Hathaway, I got in contact with him, and just to get him some when I was emailing and so on, and then I uploaded this one here, this video. George Hathaway, right here. Where's the Hathaway? Somewhere. So I have a giant Hutchison effect set up right here. So I made this one right here. This is the George Hathaway. An overview. 1993. This one here with his nice mustache. He's gonna start talking right here. So here's the background. Here's George Hathaway right here.
And
I know
this
him.
lab.
Yeah, so it's a nice mustache, and then he did a whole presentation on. It's probably the best overview of the Hutchison effect. And then I basically edited and made sure all the quality is good, fixed the audio and so on. And that's one thing I'll do with your video as well. We could play that later as well, and I'll fix up the audio. Make sure I'll make it very easy for you to upload, and so on. Either your channel, I'll watch it as well. I could upload in mine as well, and so on. So you'll have both access. But anyways, so then I made a like a 24-minute compilation of all the 1988 to 1989 footage. And then for the trailer, I put them all together, or a lot of it together, right here, and we'll play some of this right here. And this is going to be pretty cool. So I put them all together just to see the wide variety of the Hutchison effect. And the other question have you witnessed the actual Hutchison effect? Because I believe you went there with Ludwig, Dr. Ludwig. Have you
Yeah, I saw some aluminum objects moving when Thorsten Lundvik was watching. But when I first met John, which is another story, he was between labs. Well, no, you showed me the lab on Canby Street, but it wasn't you weren't doing the experiments there at the time. I think you'd moved there from North Van to that lab, that 560 Canby Street, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, actually, from 3744 East Hastings, that's where most of the activity happened with Jack Howick and the other guys. But moved from there to Canby Street, right downtown. 560 Canby, the old Murchie Tea building.
Yeah, on kind of a slope on toward Gastown.
Yeah. And it didn't. Well, unfortunately, it didn't last too long because we had to get out of the building. So.
But it was so cool that bank vault door that you installed. So you walk into the lab through this door that's about a foot thick. Well, I mean, you don't walk through it while it's closed, but it was amazing.
Oh yeah. That's the one that Alan Edwards filmed and all that stuff. Yeah, the big vault, the bank vault door, they call it.
I always wonder how did you drag that in? I mean, I've seen you carry some pretty heavy loads up to your apartment in New Westminster, but how did you yard that bank vault door down the hallway and down the stairs to that lab?
I think my dad helped out one time ago in getting the vault door from someplace. And then that vault door followed me around different locations. It's just a matter of, I can move stuff for some reason.
Yeah, you sure can.
Yeah.
Like those cartloads in New Westminster that you'd haul up from the ships.
Yep.
Pushing them uphill to your apartment.
You're right. Good exercise.
Yeah.
Or I get a ride up from the taxi or the project manager sometimes, but.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was good exercise. You put it in the elevator and press number 3 and hope it goes up.
Yeah, hope it goes up.
Yeah,
and you hope that your floor in your apartment doesn't go down to the next apartment from the weight, or the ceiling doesn't go down on you from all the things hanging from chains.
Yeah, I made sure those chains were well anchored in the structural members. And Nancy weighed over the 24 tons from that 400 square foot apartment.
Wow.
4 tons.
24 tons. It's a wonder.
Some of them went to Germany, and the rest went to the Gulf of Mexico.
No, we sent some to Minnesota.
And guns and more guns. Cans.
Mm-hmm. No, epic. And speaking about John's strength, yeah. So when I visited in November last year, literally he is the strongest, the strongest 78-year-old I've ever seen. There's like a little, there's like a 50-pound wheel in the ground or whatever, and I'm like, here, John, I'll go pick it up. He's like, no, I got it. And he's like leaning over like this and just grabs it. I'm like, it's just 50 pounds, and he's in the most awkward position. He's lifting it like it's nothing. I'm like, this guy is enough.
Yeah, well, vitamin pump.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the muscles. Let's go, John. And
his body is an anti-gravity machine.
yeah, that is true. He is.
He uses his thought to move it, and he says, "Okay, we're going over here," and I just grab it and he lifts it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I moved around is 8,500 pound lathes.
Holy.
Yeah, that's the one you've seen last year.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of doing it proper, with proper engineering. You can move anything.
Yeah, okay. Did you use it? Did you use your mind, or did you just actually push it? Did you levitate it?
No, just on the head.
Okay.
Proper to.
Yeah, and then another thing I want to ask is, I think we should have done at the beginning. So how did you two meet? And also, and you said that you saw the first time you witnessed the effect in person, Jeane, was the Ludwig experiments, the Ludwig footage.
Footage?
Yeah, I came. No, not the footage. I'm the one that showed Thorsten where to go because he came to Vancouver wanting to visit John, and he came to my apartment and we had a meeting.
Yeah.
Carmen Miller. I've got a picture of them together, but yeah, the reason I hadn't seen it sooner when I first met John was, like I said, the lab wasn't in operation at that time, but I did see his lab in a couple of locations, the next one too. But okay, I'll if you want, I'll tell the story of how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay, John?
All right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, I was living up in the Okanagan Valley before I moved to Vancouver on several occasions, but anyway, this was 1986, spring of 1986. I was getting packed up for knowing that I was going to be in Vancouver during Expo 86. And my son was watching television in the living room. I was nearby cooking, and he said, "Mom, come and look at this. I think this is the stuff you're into." And so there was this man on the television being interviewed, a man with long hair and smoking a pipe. Is anybody we know? Yeah, and I don't know if it's Alan Edwards or one of the TV hosts was interviewing you. And I just, caught the last half of it, so I didn't even get your last name, just that he was calling you John. And I thought, well, okay, I had met this inventor in Penticton, which is where I'd been the last couple of years then. And I'd gotten interested in the topic that was being called free energy. So I was mostly interested in does anybody have a magnetic motor generator that works? That's what I was looking for. But I thought, well, this man really seems to know things about science that's outside the box. So I would really like to meet him. But yeah, can you imagine? I said to my son, I'm just going to run into him in a city of 1 million people. And so we laughed about the odds of actually encountering him in Vancouver. And so I moved to Vancouver. First meeting I went to was a spiritual gathering, and I met a man that just played this small role in my life. We met for coffee a few days later, and we had talked at that gathering. He'd asked what I'm into, what I'm interested in. And so he brings in a newspaper, Vancouver Buy and Sell, classified ads. And he slaps it down on the paper and he points to this ad that he'd circled. And he said, "Is this what you're into?" And I read the ad, and it said something like, "Tesla researcher looking for lawyer or journalist to help me get back my papers." And it was signed John and gave a phone number. And I thought, oh, no, it couldn't be. There's too much coincidence. But, that night I phoned the number and it was you. And so I listened a bit and I said, well, I don't know if I'd be capable of helping you get back the papers, but I'd sure like to hear more of your story. And I am a journalist. So we arranged to meet, and that's how it happened. But, think of the coincidences involved in that. First, that my son happened to be just catching that program because, we didn't do a lot of TV watching. He was getting ready to graduate from high school, and I was getting ready to move. And that I happened to just meet this guy, and he happened to ask me what I was into, and then he happened to see that buy and sell that day.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's an amazing set of coincidences there. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we would meet. I started going to these conferences that summer, and then I'd come back to do a show and tell my buddy Pierre Sinclair and John Hutchison about what I'd learned, and that was the summer that things really started to really interest me. Like the reason that I went to the first conference in Temecula, California, it was called Meeting of the Minds, and it was put on by a magnet factory. Mm-hmm. and the reason I went is because the people that I met in Penticton, the Muller family, Bill Muller was the inventor that first got me interested in magnetism and all the possibilities that could happen with these new super powerful permanent magnets like neodymium and samarium cobalt that were just coming out then. And so I got invited to go along with them in a big motorhome trip, which is great fun, from Penticton, BC, down to Temecula, California that summer. And at that conference, I met people who stayed in my life. Like I think that's the one where Christine Jackson was there. She didn't have a magazine at the time. She was helping Dr. Nieper, who came to Temecula just to see what inventors were doing what. And that was the reason that meeting was held, too. The magnet factory owner wondered, well, why are all these individuals ordering custom-made magnets, and what do they want them for? And, they were used to big industrial orders, but there was all these individuals from different parts of the country that seemed to be doing experiments. And so the owner, Les Adams, and his brother Harley decided to put on a conference and bring these people together, and they called it you thought that was pretty funny, John. Space cadets is what it was. The space cadets meet the scientists was the tagline for the conference, and I told you about that. You and I both identified. Yeah, that's us. So we're back in a conference. And then I heard, at that conference is where I heard there's another conference a few weeks later called Tesla, International Tesla Society Conference. And I had read the biography of Nikola Tesla back then, and it really made a big impact on me. Like, who is this guy? When I first saw his picture, wow, who was this? And I read Margaret Cheney's biography. So I decided it was just kind of a lark. I'll go to this conference. And to that point, I was just, okay, I'm a writer. There's lots of interesting stories here. Maybe I'll write a book about some of their stories. But I didn't ever think that I would, so many years later, be a gray-haired grandmother still learning about this stuff, and it still isn't on the market yet, but there's lots of reasons for that. So anyway, for a lark, I went to this Tesla conference a few weeks later before my savings ran out. And okay, somebody who was showing me around was very impressed with certain speakers and said, oh, I've got to go fax that to Tom Bearden. And he was always talking about, it's Tom Bearden. And I didn't know who you're talking about. It was this great Tom Bearden, and a lot of the conference was just so over my head, like Maury King talking about 0-point energy. And that was so new to me. But of course, he's an excellent speaker, so it shouldn't go so far over anybody's head. But it seemed like the big looking for a journalist looking for what story can I write about when I get back and send to the Vancouver Sun. It looked like, okay, this Peter Greneau has a PhD, MIT scientist, et cetera. So maybe there's something in what he says that I could write a story about. But he was just giving a talk about some plan to turf out nuclear waste by a rail gun that sends it up into the sun. And I thought, no. That's not a good idea. So as I was ready to leave the conference, I was just thinking, okay, this is fun, but I'm going to go back to Vancouver and find some other path to follow. I got a sociology degree. I can do all sorts of things with my life, write a novel maybe. Although I was still interested in John's story as something to write about. so here I am leaving the Tesla conference and thinking that's it. And then out in the parking lot, because somebody had borrowed Jim Watson's car and taken me around, so we went to the parking lot to get the car. And I met up with William Baumgartner and his partner at the time, Retta Baumgartner. And they started asking me questions about why I was there, you know, because they thought, well, okay, you're a journalist, you can, you know, help spread the word about what we're doing. And they told me more about what they're doing was Victor Schauberger's work is what they wrote about and William Baumgartner experimented about. And then they sent me a bunch of materials after that I read after I got home, like the biography of Victor Schauberger. And then I realized that you can have technology that's going to, you know, help people live comfortable lives. It doesn't have to be either or. It doesn't have to be either technology or the environment. In fact, the implosion-based technology is in harmony with nature's ways. And so I didn't have to reject technology just because some people want to deal with nuclear waste and send it out to the sun. And I didn't have to turn my back on conferences like that either, because if I really put my mind to it, I could begin to understand the terminology and figure out what's going on there. It was really worth hanging in there because here were people talking about working in harmony with nature's laws. And so that got me where I live. John and I are both lovers of nature. I remember you volunteered in the North Shore. What was that place that you volunteered? Kind of a wildlife sanctuary, or you weren't doing it in '86, but you were telling me about that you had there. Is that place where they have a bridge or something that people fall off of? Does that ring a bell?
For me,
on the north side, on the North Shore. Well, anyway, I knew that you like to get out into nature.
In Canyon Ecology Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked there a couple of years for nothing. I like working for nothing. I worked for the Artificial Reef Society for 5 years on the warships. That was fun. And, that was a lot of fun. I didn't want any money. I got a lot of money from Japan to build these power units. So me to go on the warships and be in charge of the cannons. And
can you get closer to the sound?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I can hear you better.
Yeah, closer to the iPad, John. She just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Lynn Canyon Ecology Center in North Vancouver, I worked for free, and because I had money anyway. And for the Artificial Reef Society of British Columbia, I was very environmental. I worked 5 years on 4 warships, which to me was like dream come true. I didn't want any money because I had a lot from Japan for building these power units for them to use. So I had a lot of fun in the environmental stuff and cleaning, you know, with cannons and artillery and electronics. Everything has to be clean, super clean, because they're going to sink the ships, the blow them up and sink them. So I would wipe down cannons, take all the good parts off, keep some parts, give it to the project manager. Found the project manager actually 50 pounds of silver in the gun mechanism, and I took that and gave it to Wes Roots. He was very happy I found that. But I had a lot of fun. I would do it all over again.
Yeah, because they made artificial reefs out of those warships, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Wesley wanted me to follow him and be a consultant with him and travel the world and be a consultant. I said, thanks for the offer, Wes, but no. I like doing kind of my own stuff all the time. So, but thank you. I didn't know I was. That was kind of cool, but okay, no, Wes. Now they're actually sinking aircraft too, and what to do is clean everything out, totally clean, not a drop of oil or anything, like what I used to do on the ships. Then they blow them up, and think of the grand finale of TV people and other things going on. Luckily, I took photographs during that time. They're all and videos. They're all uploaded on Nancy's YouTube channel.
Did you get to see the sinking of the ships?
Yeah, I did one time. It was a massive explosion.
Wow.
We call Mr. Dynamite was running around all the time. That's his name. He was an ex-Navy SEAL or something like that. He was always torching stuff up in this little flakes of fire and dropping down through the holes in the ship into the paper area. Had the stamp of fire as a number of times. Mr. Dynamite, high energy guy.
Yeah.
He'd lay the explosives. Oh, get all this ballast out of the ship, and sure enough, he did. I didn't do that part. My job was totally separate, and I was not to be bothered by anybody, which is Ruel, Wesley Roots, and the project managers, and Wayne. So I just did my stuff.
But they let you take things up to your apartment, certain things, right?
Yeah, that's all I wanted was anything off the ship I could take to my place. Oh yeah, for sure. That's great for us. So that's what they do.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the ship itself becomes an artificial reef. I didn't realize that. Okay, I'm looking at some footage right now of some examples of this. So they just sink it and becomes an artificial reef.
Yep.
Okay, amazing.
It's for divers and for marine life to cling to it, and
yeah. Okay.
So
and it's going down. Yeah, and it becomes like that.
Has to be really clean. So.
Okay, that's amazing. And then another thing, while I was watching this compilation, while you guys were discussing your history, I had this question. I always lingered when I was seeing this footage. So you can see the screen right there. See how there's the broom levitates, and then afterwards, it's like the broom and some other objects. It's like they start falling and then levitating. Are you throwing them down, or are they just dropping from the wherever they are? You can see my.
No, they're swinging over. Seems like what I'm watching now is that they go around in circles.
Oh, really? So it's all by themselves. So you're not throwing them down and then they just fly again. Okay, so basically, yeah, so they're actually just flying around. So you can see some of this. You can see that broom right there, literally flying in the So there's a broom. It's going down and going up. See that?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes and there's other objects and there's another one. I think this was a tray.
Dangerous. I got nailed a few times with that stuff.
Holy. Okay. Yeah, so it goes in and goes up. Oh, okay, yeah. So this one here. Yeah. that's a tray right there, a plastic tray. It's just flying around.
Yeah.
And there's another cup. And yeah, so basically it's literally all on its own. You're not throwing it down. It's and then goes up. Yeah, for a second I was thinking, are you just like chucking it there and then it's flying up like some sort of whirlwind?
No, I stayed pretty far away from that stuff.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, so, yeah, that's a great story with you guys there, especially how you guys met there, and how did me and John meet? That's a good question. How
did we meet?
Yeah, I actually emailed him like several years, I think like 7 years ago or something like that.
7 years.
I emailed you, and then you replied once, and then you stopped replying because I wanted to visit you when I was going to. I think when you were in California, and then I think I never. Yeah, and you never replied back to me, and then I forgot what happened, but I started posting more Hutchison effect stuff, and I think you saw some of my clips, and then that's how I started contacting, and I also wanted to buy the sample from you, so I actually bought a sample from him.
That always works. You buy a sample from John.
Yeah. So I paid him $500, and now we're friends.
How many samples Nancy have I sold off on eBay?
Yeah,
I don't know. And we used one once to prop up the wheel on the trailer that blew out on our way to the Gulf of Mexico because, we had to get the tire off.
I got Nancy's wedding gift. The rest I gave away to my doctor.
Okay.
And dentist.
Yeah. So basically, we were in contact email, but after I purchased it, then I think he started trusting me more. So then eventually I got and visited him last, just literally it was like 7 months ago. And yeah, Jeane, do you have any samples of the Hutchison effect with you or not? Do you has John given
No,
you
no, but I want to ask you, John. I don't have any Hutchison's effect things, but you gave me this, and was this going to be one of the little power cells that?
Okay, make it bigger.
Oh, yeah, make it bigger. I can't quite see it. Power cell.
Well, I'll stop sharing now. You can see the setup there. I'll spotlight for everyone. You can see that. You can see our screen.
Yeah. Don't make that ball a power cell ball.
Oh, so
Yeah, that's one of those ones you made in a tennis ball.
Yeah, I think so. I remember vaguely.
Yeah.
I gave away so much stuff. Then I made had
and you gave me this art object. This result of some doing some welding or something. I keep it as an art object.
Okay. Is that a Hutchison effect or just a art?
No,
object?
no.
Okay.
You said it's not anything esoteric, but yeah, I thought it was cool.
No, that's good.
It was actually a chrome tree. In chroming metals in factories and that, the chrome units build up so much chrome over time, over and over again. They form on all the electrodes, the trees. And what they do is they take them and throw them in the scrapyard. That's where I found that, in the scrapyard. So, a bunch of them actually.
That's great. And the thing is, I actually saw that first time ever. I think those ones you sent was in the George Hathaway presentation. I gotta find that.
I photographed, like, I'll show you in the German edition of Coming Energy Revolution. I've got a mark here at the. Okay, so I'm the one that photographed this one, and my editor cut off half the picture because she didn't realize, or he didn't realize the importance of that sample.
Yeah.
So that's a great one.
I eventually cut in half, and I put it on eBay, and it sold to a gentleman called Oversight, who likes to display the samples. What I sold over the years, like crates of samples to individuals. One is very protective and doesn't want to be known. We did an actual trade for cannon parts in Scotland for all these boxes of samples. And I have these. I sent to him in Scotland, and he sent me these cannon parts he found on a scrapyard in England. They weren't allowed out of the country, but he got them for me and then sent them over. About 2,000 pounds of cannon parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or cannon rounds.
Yeah, I think I have seen that channel. I've shared it about Sober. I think it's Hutchison effect. And then that specific sample, Bob Greener did some tests on it. I'm not sure if Bob Greener's the one who has it now. But here's the channel that you gave a lot of the equipment to. You can see. Let's see. He has a lot of where's the Hutchison effect stuff. Yeah, so he has a whole bunch of these samples that you gave him. Yes,
there was another gentleman, John Ohm. I think he went to Cosmic Summit. He did a video on samples as well. His last name is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you chose the right person when you shared with Bob Greener.
Yeah, and then Bob Greener, he did the full analysis of that, like zoomed in with a microscope on that sample. It was amazing.
Who else has? Colonel Alexander has samples. I think. Major Peter Garrison might have, because he emailed me and wanted power cells. We communicated up to this day, actually, still in communication with him. He wants to see Hutchison effects up again.
Yeah.
So is the Colonel, so someday.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, I'll have to do it because my goal is to replicate my goal is to replicate the Hutchison effect, but like in a slow, gradual manner. So I actually got a Tesla coil, and then so Jeane, I'm gonna be replicating it with time. The Tesla coil, I didn't realize how powerful it is. See how I have headphones right here? If I spark a Tesla coil nearby, my headphones like literally almost like burst my eardrums. It is because you can hear the static. So when I have a headphone, I didn't realize you could hear the static of a Tesla coil. You get it's like zzz, and then once you spark it, I was because I was live streaming testing the Tesla coil, and I was like, so I almost blew up my my ears. And so basically, I'm waiting for to figure out how to make a Faraday cage, like a big steel thing around it, so that my computers don't break apart and so on. But yeah, so this photo, you can see my photo, the screen. These are the samples that I bought from John.
Oh, you bought that?
Yeah, I bought these ones from you. Yeah. So this bent wrench is like, this wrench is so hard to bend, yet it's bent cleanly with no like vice grip marks. Oh, there's Nancy.
When did I sell them?
You sold them for 500. Well, a 500 CAD. It's like it was like 300 or something, and then it says this one 360, 360, and then Canadian is 500. Now it's probably more Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah. So these are the ones I got, and then you have a video of this.
Are you in Canada, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm in Richmond, like really close to like I can drive straight to John's old house, and so on. Yeah. So
2016, I sold those to you.
Hmm. Yeah, you saw. I bought these last year. I bought these last year. January is when I bought them, and then they arrived February. I usually post stuff on my Telegram, right here.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, these are ones. No, these are good. And I do want to do, and I actually emailed UBC to do some testing, but then UBC they emailed it for their metallurgy lab. It's like this email doesn't work. I'm like, what? Doesn't exist. I'm like, why do you put it on their website? So that'd be eventually I'll get these tested, especially at the spots there to see if there's any different alloys or transportation. Yeah, so that's that. I do want to power through because we had a whole lot of stuff we haven't talked about.
I've forgotten about that. Have you ever heard back from Dennis Kucinich on those samples?
Dennis Kucinich. Did you tell me? I'm not sure if I messaged him. I didn't. Dennis Kucinich.
I think you did. I think you did.
Did I? I may have, but I have not heard back. If I did, I don't.
Which one of you was in contact with Dennis Kucinich?
Oh, myself. He came to Vancouver years ago in 2006, and he
me.
contacted me. I used to also Berkeley Bedell from Washington would come and visit, and take me out for lunch and that.
I have to tell you, after this, I'll tell you a story, Dennis Kucinich related.
Okay. You can tell us the story of Dennis Kucinich, and then I was also going to play a bit of you speaking right here for the audience. So there's you, back when you were 1996. Yeah. This is Hutchison. I'll try to find if it's Hutchison effect, I can upload it to my Hutchison effect playlist. So what I could do is, I think this will be the next video I'll upload then. So there's you.
That looks sucky.
We could play this of you right now if you don't mind.
I'm used to being in the back of the room and taking notes and camera and tape recorder. So.
All right. So that's 1986. So another thing I'll do is you can hear that static in the background. Like what I do is I remove that using just some software.
I'm not really used to this, but anyway, I found that.
Yeah, so I make sure I do that all that, and because I'm not sure if
I'll comment about that. I'm not really used to this. I was terrified before that talk.
Oh, really?
And my talk was in the afternoon of that Denver conference, and at the luncheon, Eugene Mallove was the luncheon speaker.
Wow.
And I was sitting at a table with him, and he could tell that I was terrified, and so he really helped lighten things up. In his talk, he referred to a few things we knew in common, and he referred to me as because Jeane Manning, the names, some of them, he's called me my counterpoint on the West Coast or something.
Yeah.
And it just the friendliness of Jeane helped lift that fear.
Yeah, that's great. So Eugene Mallove, literally at that conference. That's amazing. Yeah, and that's
everybody was there, right?
Yeah.
That was the year that even Hal Puthoff and all these people were speakers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe.
And you spoke at that conference. Was that the same conference that you spoke at, John?
Oh, which one, Julie?
Well, let's see. Oh no, No, it would. You spoke at the one when we came down from Stanley Park, right?
Um,
Or the Stanley Hotel.
oh, Stanley Hotel. Yeah, I spoke there.
So the one that I spoke at was the next one, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I just my memory refreshed. Yeah. So John, I did email Dennis Kucinich after you told me, and I here's the screenshot. And he never got back to me. That's why I forgot. I said I'm a friend of the famous John Hutchison. He told me that you may have received a few samples. Would you still have some? Would be great if you can discuss them and possibly include photos of them in my playlist right here. So, and I gave him my number to call in. So again, no reply from U.S. politician Dennis Kucinich.
Oddly enough, my stuff was presented to Congress in 2024. I just found out a couple of days ago. It's okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a congressman who actually lives in California too.
Mm-hmm.
It was on UAP technology.
Oh yeah. That was the one that you were telling me to get the report. Is that the report you wanted? Because I think you said something about Victor. I think that's Victor is related to Victor Schauberger. Your report, Hutchison. Okay.
No, with something I found on the internet by accident. And I didn't know that.
This one right here. It's a congressional. You were asking me, Michael Schellenberger. That's very similar. Okay, Victor Schauberger is a different name. But then I said this one here from the oversight committee. This guy right here, 2023. He did a hearing, testimony by Michael Schellenberger to the subcommittee of cybersecurity information technology, and then face search of Hutchison. So you're included in there.
Yeah, I know. I was just curious. I learned about that about a week ago.
Yeah, so there's Colonel John Alexander was mentioned, Ferros Technology, Alex Bizzaro, John Hutchison, George Hathaway, and Los Alamos, and so on. So again, yeah, that's amazing. So I'll send it to the audience just so they have it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And the other part is, again, I was going to make a point right here. So, Jeane, you said you were terrified in this one here. Yeah, well, because before this stream, you emailed a lot of times, like, what to expect of you from this. I'm like, don't worry. This is just going to be a talk and nothing to worry about.
Well, I'm a lot better now. I have done a lot of speaking, but it's not really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing this week was just that I was so swamped this week.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm like in the middle ground. Like I try to avoid all this public speaking, etc. But then if the microphone's there, I just do whatever. It's like once the microphone's there, I'm like, there's no. I'm just gonna go all in. But like I avoid it, so it's like a middle ground. If there's a microphone, I'll take it and start yapping. But
yeah, once you get going, it's fun. But it's just the perfectionist here worries about it ahead of time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I have that as well, but it's kind of like the being scared of doing that. That's an imperfection. Like just do it. You'll get more done even if you're imperfect than avoiding stuff. That's my 2 cents. Yeah. So this one here, I'll have a listen to it. Is there any other insights in this? There's Victor Schauberger. I think that's Victor Schauberger. I actually have experiment. Like you said, experiment is the name of the game. So. I actually did an experiment from, I saw in his book, Victor Schauberger, he did this, have you ever seen it in his book where he talks about an egg rises faster in water than a sphere? So I actually replicated it using both manual and using a drill. And not a drill, actually. I used a magnetic stir. So basically I confirmed his results because like I'm an experiment guy. Like there's a lot of theories and all this, like even ether, black holes, dark energy, mumbo jumbo. It's like at the end of the day, what can you do with whatever theory you have? So here's one here. Yeah. So this one here is. Yeah. So this one is it rises on its own faster. So there is an egg upside down. There's an egg normal. There's a regular ping pong ball, and I spin them up, and this one goes up faster. And then what I would do this like 10 times over, so that then I count them up, so that it's less error involved. Let's going up like that. And then what's interesting is this goes up faster and drops down slower. So that's interesting. So it goes up faster, but notice how slow it drops down. And then I would do is I would make them go rising only. So then to see, then you can like. So the thing is, instead of having a giant column, I just have a little tiny one. and I could just replicate it. So you could. So again, experimenting and presenting experiments is like my forte. So this is where my engineering background comes in. It's like, because at the end of the day, it's like you need to be able to present it to anyone where it's irrefutable. Like this is irrefutable. Anyways, so it goes up faster and faster, and also goes down slower. And then I did also want another Victor Schauberger in reverse. So I used a magnetic stir. I added saline water in it, so that it floats a bit. So I made them float. So they're all floating. I put some water and salt, and then I use a magnetic stir. So all like, so even going downwards is the same thing. The Schauberger was right. So again, this goes down much faster than this one. This one didn't even move, and they're all the same like relative weight and buoyancy. And there's the ball, and this plastic egg goes down. So again, that's that part, and. And then I think you had a story you said about Dennis Kucinich, Jeane. Did you mention something about that?
Well, it's just a mention. Like I know that Brian O'Leary met with him and tried to get him to come out publicly with his interest. But okay, I was 2017. I was invited to speak in Kazakhstan of all places.
Nice.
They were having the World Fair there that year, and to go along with it, they had a bunch of forums, and so there was at the end of that summer a forum called Women and Clean Energy. I got it. Women and Future Energy, and so I was invited to speak there, and I met this beautiful woman who was being shown around beforehand along with me, and I just knew her name was Elizabeth, and that she was going to be given a little talk as an environmentalist, and but she was being mysterious about her last name. She said she kept trying to get me to guess her last name. She was married to a politician from America, although she was from the UK. She has beautiful long red hair. She thought I would know, but I wasn't familiar with Washington gossip, and she said she called her husband Denny, and I still didn't twig, and that she was about a foot taller than her husband, and but anyway, when we sat down in the big meeting hall, they had our name tags in front of us, and it said, hers said Elizabeth Kucinich, and I said, "Oh, you're married to Dennis Kucinich."
Well,
it was
amazing.
funny.
Okay, yeah. So you actually met his wife, and she's a foot taller. Interesting.
But anyway, that was just a little fun thing for me. But the trip was the most exotic conference that I've ever been invited to, all expenses paid.
Okay. Yeah, so if you get that conference you were talking about to get me involved, if it's all expenses paid, yeah, I'll be there next week.
Well, the ones that where the experimenters show up and help each other aren't necessarily all expenses paid, unfortunately. But there's one that's not terribly far from you. Spokane, Washington is the next Energy Science and Technology Conference, and those guys are seriously doing experiments too. So you would really have a lot to offer, and they'd have a lot to offer you.
Yeah, definitely. And it's another thing with these experiments. I have my view is on I think there's like agents that are placed in a lot of these conferences so that they kind of like keep track of what's going on in the alt media scene.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I included a note. I included a note.
But
in there.
John, are you up for any more travel, John?
Oh, I'm up to traveling.
Uh-huh.
No, not.
Would you go to any more conferences at this point?
No, I don't think so. Not in this what's going on in this country. No.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here now.
There sure is. No, we won't go into that.
Never know.
Yeah. So Bob Greener actually said, John, he'll cover the flight and everything if you can make it to the replication attempt. So that's one thing. But I think do you have the passport or no, John?
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. And there's so much paranoia going on in this country right now, and
fight,
arguments.
Yeah, it is wild. My brother. Yeah, my brother said he had a friend. He just was coming back from the States, and he's Chinese, and then they actually checked his trunk, and then they found that he had some Amazon purchases from China, and then so they charged him like 35% tariff on some like package in his trunk when he's driving over the border to come back to Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm watching a lot of news and what's going on, but is it real or not? It seems to be real, but...
Well, it affects normal people. Well, what I mean, it's scripted. I believe it's all scripted, but it affects everyday people. Like, it invests people's investments, invests their daily life, how much they can spend. It's similar to COVID when they had lockdowns. People actually are affected by, you can't go anywhere, your things get expensive. So people are affected. So again, that's that part there. And
I double check. I go to websites and Congress and Forbes News and other news sources to find out what's going on. And I don't know. It sounds like return of Nazi Germany in some aspects.
Yeah, that's another part. So I have a view like everything's scripted, and what's interesting is I feel like Trump is they're following the Hitler script, but again, he's playing a role. He's a reality TV host. And what I want to show is actually I'll show this Jeane as well. Last time, one of the time, I think the first time John was on the show, him and Nancy, or one of the times, this was before the Trump quote assassination attempt. And I'll say Trump right here, Trump. So so last year on June 8th, 2024, when I made a full live stream predicting that that Trump will have the fake assassination attempt. and so here, this is from June 8th, 2024, when I casually dropped the Trump fake assassination attempt script live on air with John and Nancy this was the stream there. So if you could listen to this, listen to what it says here. Let's see what it says. No, allow sound. All right. About Trump. Okay, this is from June 8th, 2024. So it's a Jeane, I'm not sure if you've ever seen my prediction thingy. I've been predicting for years that Trump will have a fake assassination attempt, and then it happened. So this is from a month before it happened, and this was June 8th, when John and Nancy were on the stream. Listen to what I just told them. Well, speaking with Trump, my next week's live stream, I currently tentatively have it. It's going to be about Trump. Except, so I have a theory that there's going to be a fake assassination of Trump.
Trump should just disappear into another country.
Well, that's the thing. So my view is politics is scripted, but so I think there's going to be a script where there's going to be an assassination of Trump.
Yeah,
and then but then he's gonna survive.
No.
All right. Yeah. So that's my prediction there. And again, Trump predictive programming. And so on. Yeah, so that was that. And so again, let's go back on the thingy. I want so I'm not sure how much more time you guys have.
I'd like to hear more about Ken Shoulders, because
Oh, Ken Shoulders.
What a great man! What a great man he was.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear more of your memories of Ken.
Yeah, I think Jeane should talk about Ken. Ken and I were very close friends as well, and I believe Jeannie was with us. We met Ken and Henry Dakin, Prince Adam.
We stayed at Henry Dakin's place overnight on the way to Ken Shoulders' place.
Yeah, that was fun. That was awesome. And Ken, last time I'd seen him, he was dying. Last time I saw Dr. Rauscher, she was dying too. She stayed with us a month. This is a beautiful interview, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've watched that interview. Thanks to Nancy. Yeah. I was one of the last people talking with Elizabeth Rauscher on the phone anyway. Our mutual friend Andrew was there helping her. So she was another brave soul that had so much to offer. And she was independent, so she, didn't ever sell out. And she and her partner, Bill Van Weiss. So, John, do you remember when I'm seeing Ken there. I love that video. Do you remember when you and I were in Vancouver, and Elizabeth said that they'd been left in the lurch there on the Reynolds estate?
Yeah.
Where
Totally
Harwich and these other people had been told that they could live till the end of their lives, including Elizabeth and Bill Elizabeth Rauscher and Bill. And then after this tobacco heir, Reynolds that had this estate and had said they could stay there and work and write books and everything till the end of their lives. And then when he died, then the lawyers took over and turfed out the people that didn't really have any income or savings to fall back on. And so Elizabeth wanted to be able to get back west again, but she didn't have any money. So we started they didn't have GoFundMe in those days. We just sent out the call for people to and so we did raise some money. Yeah, you remember that?
I fully remember every day of that. I remember William Tiller, I believe, of Stanford, donated $100, and eventually they did get back. Or unfortunately, Puharich passed away back there. William Van Weiss and Elizabeth eventually got back to Arizona, and I actually got to meet Elizabeth again. I met her a number of times in Arizona. I got married to Helena. And Gordon Novell was a character that was involved as well, and we all kind of helped out. And then as I took off from Arizona, other things happened. Eventually, many years later, Elizabeth was staying with us in Oregon for a month. And when she left, I heard very sadly she passed away.
Yeah, it wasn't really sudden, because her health, but it is so unjust that somebody with such a brilliant mind, and her mind was milked by others, if I can use that expression, and some people, particularly, got their fame partly because of Elizabeth's knowledge. And so, but yet she died in poverty.
I know. It's very sad. I don't like that kind of stuff. Ken Schauberger died kind of alone. Nancy and I helped out with getting food into his home. I helped him do the bathroom. Of course, we couldn't stay there, but we returned back to Oregon, and we learned he passed away. I mean,
and his wife was losing her sight too before he left.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not a good thing. I mean, it's just, it's really sad. And Dr. Rauscher was an incredible person. I met her over many years, Nevada State University, other locations. I think here at one of the conferences when we went to the Star Trek studios, she was there talking, and CNN was there interviewing her and all that stuff. And I got a good picture of you, Jeane, right court spar with Herman Zimmerman and his girlfriend Linda McLean, myself, and Ian.
Oh, I'd love to have copies of any pictures of that meeting. Linda McLean was our hostess, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a picture of us, that one that you've got of us. Somebody took at the studio, playing on the. What was this? Not Star Wars, not Star Trek, but Deep Space Nine, playing on that set. It's a terrible picture of me. I was cleaning my teeth with my tongue or something. But there's another picture of me in there on that studio with Yuri. Do you remember Yuri? He was at that meeting at the house.
Yep.
He was from Russia. Double PhD physicist, and when I was on my cross-country trip in my little truck in 1993 or so, people were sending me on to you're going to the next city, visit so and so, and so that's how I met Yuri, and And so I got him invited to Linda's party. And then Linda's sister, Connie, fell in love with him and they got married. So I feel really good about that.
Wow.
Cool. Wow. You remember Prince Alfred von Liechtenstein, that brother or cousin of Prince Hans Adam Liechtenstein?
Yeah, Prince Alfred up in the Bay Area, wasn't it, that we met with him?
Yeah, and Ken Shoulders.
Ken was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And guys, I'm just gonna go washroom quickly. I just want to make a one note here. So this interview with Ken Shoulders, I noticed your shirt, John. It says the gun show, and pointing to your biceps. I actually on my Telegram I actually have a bunch of posts of John jacked. Let's see. I think I said no. This was I think this one right here. No, this one. This part right here.
Wow.
This is another one. Again, John just showing off his muscles anywhere he goes.
Okay. There I go.
So I'm going to go wash him, and I'll be back. So you guys can still talk. I'll be back one quick second. I just want to go play this. Okay, and you guys can. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a picture of you in your Star Trek suit too. Well, and remember I had that guy that was a really good photographer take pictures of you and of the big crystal converter that you had.
The big ones I made for Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a video for CBC or something. You mean Chester? No.
No. There was another guy that I brought Chester in for a video, but there was another guy that I paid something to do some still photos of you in your uniform, and then another of the big.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it's the one you took to Japan.
Yes, and they were demonstrated. They were tested at Kyoto Institute of Technology for originality and no batteries. They were demonstrated on the main media in Japan.
They took it all apart with all the cameras on it, didn't they? To show that there was no hidden batteries.
Yep. Yeah. I think Matthew had that video. I hope so, because there's a lot of stuff I did in Japan with my host, the power cell stuff. Also, I was with Dr. Brian O'Leary on trip number 2, and that was all the power cell stuff. So lots of good photos, videos of Dr. Brian O'Leary, myself, and they put it on the main media, for Pete's sake. So I have all the tapes, I think Matthew has them, I hope. But yeah, actually, my host came visiting in 2004. Wanted to get me back into Japan. He took a lot of photocopies of documents and stuff. And then he left for Japan again. And then I never heard from him again. My other sponsor was Thomas. I don't know if you met Thomas Messer. Messer Group. I don't remember what he looked like. If I did, I remember you talking about him a lot. Yeah, he sponsored me and made a number of power cells. One with 24 volts and a quarter amp. We tested it. I had a helper. I paid also because I had a lot of money at the time for doing this stuff. But Grant Romand, who has a TV show called Scissor Boy. Now he's promoting living in the ocean kind of thing on the building.
Grant Romand is now?
Yeah, Grant. That's Grant. Yeah, he was fun.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Canadian with a Canadian company called Paragliders of Canada. He would stay with William Shatner when he go to LA. And he'd run up reports on my power cells and hand them out to people down there.
So that's how you got to meet Shatner's widow?
I could have met. I met Shatner in the 70s with
right.
I was working at the Ecology Center with Vicki McMillan. Somebody comes in, Bill Shatner down in the Safeway doing commercials. So we both went down there and we got to meet him. And then later on, my buddy Billy McDonald, who I haven't heard from for years.
Okay.
Right.
And also, John, what was that? Grant Ramond again. I remember when you mentioned before, and I was searching him up. He's a pretty big, I think, Bitcoin guy now, or something like that. And he was also doing some sort of like society in a yacht or something. Is that the one? The Grant Ramond?
Yeah, something with now.
What's his scissors hands? I think. Okay, Grant. How do you spell his name? Grant Ramond.
ROMUNDT.
DT. When he was in scissors hand, I think. It's been a while since I searched his stuff, and I think I may
No,
have.
that's not him.
Grant Ramond, Scissor Boy.
Yeah,
Is that him? Grant.
It's the name, but it's not. That's not him.
Okay, hairstylist.
No, that's not.
Ocean Builders. Okay, this might be him. Ocean Builders is the one. He was doing some sort of ocean stuff. This guy right here. Is this him?
Yeah,
that's Grant.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's apparently he has some sort of ocean builders where you can live on the ocean or something.
Yeah, that's Grant. He's always got projects, kind of thing.
Visionary young age. Let's see, ocean builders. What does this do exactly? But yeah, so you can live in here, sea pods and so on. Request a quote about us. Yeah, so you can live in that ocean invasion technology must develop the revolution blue that makes 70% of the world that is covered into an eco-sustainable. Yeah, basically live on the water. So that is his thing he's working on. So that's Grant Ramond. All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's Grant. Before that, it was Scissor Boy. Before that, he had the Paramotor Company of Canada, where he taught actors. There's videos of him teaching William Shatner how to fly with it.
Oh yeah, I mentioned. And I think someone got in an accident, or no?
Huh?
Did someone get in an accident that fly? Oh no, he taught him to fly. Yeah, and then I'm not sure if someone got in an accident or not, but yeah.
I don't. He tested my power units. Nancy uploaded an entire video on it. Chester from CBC did another part of it too.
Wow.
He was fun to work with. He was very meticulous, and he did a lot of good film work too. Put together a couple of videos which are on YouTube.
But
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All my clients were fun to work with.
Yeah. Well, you're a fun guy. You're a fun guy, John. I'm gonna go ocean builder.
John, going back to 1996 or 7 or something. Do you remember at the Planetarium in Vancouver that event? It was after the Coming Energy Revolution came out, and this man who wrote for Shared Vision magazine organized a big event where you were one of the people on stage, and you had this little free energy device. It was just running a little propeller, but it was free energy. And so that was the only. There was a whole lineup of maybe 7 guys that I invited because I didn't want to share the stage all by myself. I wanted to have the guys that actually do things and build things on stage. And did I say hidden energy? It was after the Coming Energy Revolution came out, and anyway, the Planetarium auditorium was full, which was scary for me. But I had all you guys there to talk about your work.
I met an actress lady who was. Remember Scully in the X-Files? I met her stunt double, Caroline Allard. We became good friends for a couple of years.
You met at that time?
Yeah. She and another lady I met, and then we hung out for a while. Caroline Allard looks like Scully, and she's a stunt actress for Scully.
Wow.
She actually met Colonel Alexander. I get a phone call from John Alexander. Oh, some woman here to see me, John. Oh, gee. I forgot to let you know that she's coming. But we were good friends for a couple of years. I got a lot of photographs and videos of it. So.
Another interesting woman that showed up there was Karen. You remember I asked you to help her because she was being targeted?
Yep. Karen stayed at my place too. For a while. And I actually, hold on a minute. I met her in Oregon.
Did you? Just accidentally?
That was Karen.
And what do you mean by targeted? Can you guys explain that a bit? What do you mean by targeted?
Well, it was really weird. She had been a lawyer in Seattle, and she took on some big cases like a police department that was corrupt and some other, corrupt entity with a lot of political power, and won the cases. She was fairly young and a good lawyer, but she also, had this personal problem that she just needed to quit the job for a while and go live in a quiet place and recover. So she bought a little house in what was that harbor? Some city on the coast of Oregon, or town or something, where there are a lot of big ships parked offshore, and it was mainly for, bringing cargo into the U.S. through this port. And she wondered, because she could have her own hours and do what she wanted, she'd be out there with her dogs in the middle of the night going for a walk, and she'd meet these street kids and wondered where they got these $100 bills and everything. And somebody thought, I guess, because of her background, thought that she was there as a spy. So she started getting, her animals would get really restless at night, and she couldn't sleep. And her animals, her dogs would get behind the big wood-burning stove or something to get away from it. And she was being harassed, drive-by noise, and then drive-by and then shooting, and then somebody shot a dog of hers. Does that ring a bell now?
Oh,
Yeah. And it took quite a while for her to realize that she was being targeted with something that was causing harm to her physically. Her hairdresser commented that the texture of her hair was like she was being under radiation treatment, like cancer patients.
Unbelievable.
And she was getting weird phone calls, and then finally some man connected with the police department who at least had a shred of integrity to tell her that she was being targeted and she should get out of town. And then, of course, she got her back up and said, "No way," and she's when somebody would phone her with these sort of calls, she would really tell them what she thought, and then it got ramped up, just like some irresponsible people who had technologies but didn't have integrity were experimenting on her.
Mm-hmm.
Now you remember who I'm talking about?
I know Karen very well. I met her recently when I was in Oregon, in a store actually. Karen Dodson, well, her last name is Dodson. And going into my studies through the CIA people, I found all kinds of stuff on how they target people with these devices, portable devices. But I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. I mean, the CIA people were very helpful in releasing to me all these UFO documents, and I have only 4 left of metal analysis of a sample found that flew out of the sky. 4 pages only. The rest of them, I shipped a lot over to Yin for her movie stuff in 1993. I was assigned a privacy coordinator to get these papers. I was given, I had to get my passport notarized, which I did do. And I was invited to go there and use their library services. They send the papers, I still have them. And I took the easy way on it. No, just how do I pay for them to get all my documents? And I paid for them, it's $92 or something like that. They sent them to me, and I sent some to Yin, Germany, and the rest actually I threw out. And I only kept the 4 pages of the unknown object that was analyzed metallurgically, and it's got all the chemical analysis and that. I kept those, still have them. I still got the letters from CIA people, and Colonel Rogers was helpful. He was with the Department of Defense. He was very helpful. But Karen stayed with me for a few nights and felt safe in my place because of all the stuff in there. And I said I can put up countermeasures on those frequencies, which I did do actually at Porter at the time. And then she wept, then hung around more with Carolyn Allard, the actress lady. And Karen, I lost track of until some years ago. I met her in Oregon, in the store. And it was, hi Karen. She went on and on and on kind of thing. So she had to go, and I had to go too. And she'll be back again sometime and all that stuff. So
was she in good health? Was she in good health when you met her?
Yeah, she's
Good.
very active. Still driving a van, kind of like a camper van. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was-
when she left, when she left that town, finally she had enough and took her dogs that were left and lived in her van for a long time. But she came to that event because she read Angels Don't Play This Harp, and she wanted to talk to me. And I said, "Oh, can you wait till after this event in Vancouver?" And then she showed up at it, and we met afterwards. And I went down across the line to Bellingham one time while we were staying. What's that?
I was just gonna get this set up for. This is the Race to Zero point because you were in it actually. Yeah, so that Race to Zero point documentary. Yeah, I was gonna actually bring up that. So Thomas Valone actually messaged me. I think was it yesterday? I think yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, I think literally yesterday. Yeah. So he messaged me, or 2 days ago, and then there's you from your. I think I got it from your Facebook page. That's Thomas Valone. That's you. I believe that's you. Yeah.
I think that was the New Energy Movement conference in Portland in 2004.
Oh yeah, in this photo, this is one here. This page posted it. So that's 2004, and there's some other people right here. This guy was in that photo with. That's Brian O'Leary. Okay, so that's Brian O'Leary.
That's Brian
okay.
O'Leary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this is
Peter Lindemann.
Yeah, I'll just zoom in. Okay, and then this is your book there. And there is the deer. Yeah, that's Kelowna, right? Yeah, my cousin.
That was when I was house sitting for a log cabin up beyond the power lines. It was the most idyllic place.
Okay, yeah, because when I was in my at my cousin's house in Kelowna, a deer was also there and like eating the flowers, and I actually got a photo with a deer. I think. Where is the? I think this was okay. This is a deer, but I had a good photo with him there. Yeah, there's me and the deer. There's a deer in the background.
Oh,
That's
wow. Great. You look great, Matthew.
Yeah, thank you. And there's the there's the deer just chew, and it was just chewing. It was just chewing like that.
Is that West Kelowna?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure the geography of Kelowna, but I was there. Yeah, so that'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, and then we also went to I forgot where exactly in Kelowna, but there's me cliff diving. There's me cliff diving right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Is that you, Matthew, swimming around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this Kelowna, I don't know what this is. And what's interesting is. Yeah, so there's me with the NWO sign of Kelowna. So Kelowna has NWO in it. All right. Okay. So, anyways, and this is an experiment I actually found when I was there in my cousin's pool. So if you're in water, if you just hold your breath and then you breathe out, you start sinking. So there's me. There's me. It's just you just let go of the air, you start sinking. Watch. And then I let go, I'm going straight down.
He's diving, dive.
Yeah, so anyways, so I want the reason I bring up Thomas Valone. Yeah, so he messaged me. There's actually a message right here. He told me that in the George Hathaway one, I should have included his mind-bending book, and so on. So he actually messaged me, and he said that it was the first time he saw the George Hathaway presentation on YouTube that I uploaded literally last month. And yeah, and then he asked me to put this mind-bending books, and I actually purchased it right when he told me. So I just bought this, so it should arrive soon, and so on. And also a pro tip for those who are on Amazon, Amazon, it's different prices for different locations, and so if you change it, don't use Amazon.com if you're in Canada. Use .ca. Sometimes you'll save on shipping. Because I remember someone purchased something for me from there in the UK, and they wanted to ship to Canada, but I'm in Canada, so if they just used .ca, they would have saved like $50. All right. Anyways, so yeah, so that one. The reason I brought it up because you were also in. So there's a conference that Thomas Valone was speaking in 2005, or I think it's 2005, and then you're in there as well. So this is a Thomas Valone one. And it doesn't open up here for some reason. So some of these files are really, really big. You need to download it and then view them.
2005, maybe it was in Europe.
Yeah, I'll play it. And the reason, there's one thing that Thomas Valone, I always remember, is when I was searching through the files, he made some a great point. I'm just going to open up on my computer and then start sharing this one and stuff. Thomas Valone. How do I open up? So because I already downloaded this, I'm just gonna open up this quickly. This is 2005. Okay, and then I'm gonna open up Thomas Valone, and this is. I'm gonna start sharing the. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing. Stop sharing. Share the other window, with sound, and then Thomas Valone. Okay, so I can't share. I can't see it. Okay, so I can't for some reason. Okay, there it is. Okay, so you can see my screen right now. You can see this little black screen. So that is on my computer, the 2005 Thomas Valone. And right here.
Typically, we're interested in various
I'll be uploading one of these as well, but also notice the
types
static.
of things that first
Static in
of
the
all
background.
are summarized in a booklet.
I'll remove that and so on. Okay, this field interference is in the stream. Okay, we have a whole lot of people in the stream. You can see their comments. I'll show them later. And then, so Thomas Valone right now, I think you're in there as well somewhere. Let me just, I forgot where exactly. But you said this was in Europe? This was in...
kind of.
And I'm not sure...
Well, if it was 2004, it would have been in Portland. If it was
2005.
It was later, it would have been in Europe.
Okay, it's 2005. Okay, 2005. And I think at 44:30 mark, this is the one thing I wanted to ask Thomas Valone. I actually invited him to be on Livestream. So I replied to Thomas Valone, and he told me to promote his he has a newsletter and so on. And I actually asked them, P.S. I said I am John Hutchison and Jeane Manning are joining my Livestream show this Saturday. I'll let them know I got in contact with you. And I also told him you can join in the show. So I said. Asked him if he wants to join a future live show, and also he can also join in if he wanted if he wanted to join in this one. But he hasn't got back to me yet. But we'll see about that. But sorry, I wasn't showing. You can't see my screen there. But I told him about this live stream, and so on. But there was you in here, and there was something he made a really, really good point about the levitation of John's experiments. If you plot their distance and their acceleration. You can actually you get a straight line. So this is a very, very interesting thing he discovered.
What we're looking at here is that when you have an increasing acceleration, increasing velocity.
Yeah, I think John's gone. It might be in the washroom or something. And
velocity, you normally have constant acceleration. F equals ma is describing constant force. But the strange and very unusual and also very precise aspect of this is that here we're looking at a graph that details the acceleration of that 19-bound bushing, and what we're looking at is a linearly increasing acceleration.
Yeah, so this is if you plot those levitation ones, I think that bushing that just flew up, it's not just a random sporadic one. It's the acceleration is actually constant. So it's like for example, you know how gravity is constant, relatively constant. So, but the rate of the acceleration is constant. So this is like a new type of force here.
That physically has not been seen on this world. You actually have to increase the force and also linearly increase the force. And if we take a slope of this, then we'd see that it's a constant. But we don't even know what to call that because it's a third derivative effect. Acceleration is only a second derivative. What we're looking at here is a third derivative effect. I can only term it hyperacceleration. And we also have to take into account that this phenomenon was occurring in the gravitational field of the Earth. we're providing a second derivative effect downward. In other words, there's a force actually normally opposing such motion upward. That's why when you see the Saturn V booster take the shuttle up into the air, it's starting very slowly, and it accelerates very slowly. Most things, when they accelerate straight upward, do accelerate very slowly. We've never seen this type of rapidly increasing acceleration to the point that we only have a few frames of this phenomenon.
All right. So John, I was showing the Thomas Valone findings about your work. Basically, some of the levitation, it's moving in a constant acceleration. So it's like, which is very, very unique. Like if you think of pushing something, initially the acceleration is high, but then after a certain point, it catches up to. You're going to be decreasing acceleration because it's already moving, and until it reaches like a constant speed. But this one is like the acceleration is increasing, so it's kind of like a new type of force and so on. But anyways, this is some epic stuff there. I'm gonna. I think it was in part 2. I'm gonna try to find it where it was exactly.
Table that have two.
Because I'm pretty sure you were in there, Jeane. I'm pretty sure you were in there. I just can't find where. I'll see what. I'll include sound, Windows.
Tom and I have been at different conferences in Europe. There was one in Berlin, and there was one in Switzerland. Actually, and one in Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I will open this up again. I want to get this here.
Table.
And I'm gonna have to go pretty soon.
Yeah, no worries. So let me know your time frame because we were going because I maxed out on my thingy at 3 hours is my max, and then I didn't have a limit before, and one of the guests went over to 5.5 hours. One of the normal guests. I'm like, okay, but basically I go
about another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, or as long as you want. So I will share this one here. All right, so yeah, we'll just basically close things up, see what else we haven't discussed in the thingy, and then any closing thoughts and so on. And I think I wanted to bring up one thing here because it was about the experiments that you witnessed firsthand, and that comes along also to Dr. Judy Wood. So you actually met her in 2012, you said, roughly there, and she gave you the book, Where the Towers Go. And as you can see my screen here, so she gave you that book. Can you discuss how you met her, or how did this come about?
Oh, well, I can't say that I've really spent a lot of time with her. We were at the same conference, the Global Breakthrough Energy Movement Conference in the Netherlands. Yeah. And she was a speaker. And we happened to ride back to the airport together. So that was kind of the extent of it. So John's the one who knows Judy Wood and knows her stories, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so you're actually included in the John's affidavit for her court case. You were mentioned briefly as visiting John's lab with Ludwig. So I have a link to the affidavit. It says, and then you go Hutchison, or Jeane Manning. So you're included in November 2007. I was visited by Dr. Ludwig of Germany, Jeane Manning, Peter Scholes, and others, and they took more videos of my experiments. And yeah, so you're actually mentioned in there. It's pretty interesting. And then now I wanted to show, because you said that you witnessed some of the aluminum stuff flying and so on, and I want to see if I could pinpoint which one you actually saw. So we're gonna go.
Actually, it was aluminum foil.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Crumpled up and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Aluminum foil. So I'm gonna go. I think 2006 or 2007. Let's see where it was.
But Thorsten spending days there, he witnessed a lot more than that.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Because so I actually uploaded. This is 2006. So which was 2006? Let's see which date it was. So this is. I'm gonna close this. Okay, Ludwig. Yeah. So from 2007. Okay, this is 2007. Yeah. So 2007. Thorsten Ludwig right here. So I actually uploaded 6 hours of unedited footage. Have you seen this? Had a chance to even? Did you know this existed? 6 hours. So this is 6 hours of Thorsten Ludwig's footage, and I was wondering which aluminum foil did you see? Because I have a whole bunch of this, so that's the thing we're gonna power through. I'm gonna make this a 16x.
I flipped through that. I couldn't tell you exactly which
Okay, so you
frame
actually
it
saw.
was.
Yes, you've seen this. Did you see it once I send you the notes, or did you know about this existing before?
No, you sent me the notes.
Okay, yeah. So again, a lot of this stuff has never before seen, like because Nancy and John gave me the hard drive and I put it on there. So this is again 6 hours, and I included timestamps of where key parts are, and so on. So wasn't this aluminum foil in the back? Anything else that you witnessed moving? I'll power through some here. I'm gonna go file.
Matthew, that was years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't draw a picture of what it was I saw.
Okay, no
I
worries.
I just know that I saw levitation and
No, amazing.
moving.
No, definitely, yeah. With me, it's like if one thing is interest of me, I'll remember it forever, even in a different lifetime. I'll just know it. It's like I knew this thing was moving there, and that's kind of where the gyroscope stuff kind of intrigues me the most, because it's like I can't remove what I just saw from a gyroscope ever. It's like, and why is nobody else grasping how big it is? Yeah. So, anyways, so that was this part there, and Thorsten Ludwig. I actually messaged him, but I never got back. I wanted him to join the stream as well. So are you in contact with Ludwig or any of these?
You know, sometimes the answer is emails, but more often not.
Okay.
So I don't think the email is something he pays much attention to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, and then see if there's anything else here. No, I think we pretty much covered. The one point was about that Ashton Forbes guy, because you wrote an article. So Bob Greener praises him, but again, I have my thoughts on him. That's for another day. If you are interested in diving into that part.
I'm not really a follower of. So.
Yeah. That's all right. It's just.
But I am a follower of Bob Greener for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I actually had him on my live stream last year. I think last year or a bit earlier. So I had him on the stream. Yeah. So he's and I do want to visit doing the replication attempt, if I get the invite there from.
I'm so grateful to Martin Fleischmann Memorial's project for bringing out the importance of John's metal samples and you know, letting the world know about the work he's done. It'll never be forgotten now. Your name is known everywhere, John.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
That could be problematic sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Been
problematic.
Famous problematic.
No, he says it could be problematic being known. Bob Greener, I think so. Yeah, so here's when I had Bob Greener on the show. We went almost 4 hours. Holy. And Bob Greener, yeah, very, very, very interesting. He says he also has some remote viewing capability, so that's interesting. And this was actually, when was this? Yeah, this was one stream after my Trump fake assassination attempt one. But anyways, so I went 4 hours with Bob Greener. There's me and Bob. He's going about the vortex and the vortex and the vortex, and a lot of the Ken Shoulder stuff, like dense electrons, and like ball lightning stuff. So again, it's definitely this is like the name of the game. It just basically.
I didn't really get what you said, John. Could you get a little closer when you said something's problematic?
Oh, being famous kind of have problems sometimes, but it's okay. I deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get people showing up here all the time, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm really careful about, like the location of somebody. I don't give it out any information unless I have permission, because I know how hassled you can get when looky-loos show up out of the blue, and you don't have a front office staff. Like Nancy can't, be sitting at the reception table all the time and deal with.
Or send the hounds.
Actually, everybody in this, what do you call it, the new energy field or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, we could all use help. I mean, I could use technical help with trying to go through learning curves of things that I have to do just as a writer, and trying. The only author that I've ever, or only person I can think of really envying, was when I'd had, fortunately, thanks to Brian O'Leary, a New York publisher for the coming energy revolution. And then that publishing company was bought out by one of the big giants, Penguin Putnam, a few years later. And then I thought, well, a few years after that, there's a lot I've learned since, and so maybe I write another book and Penguin. And then Penguin brought out Jeremy Rifkin's book, The Hydrogen Economy, sold 1 million copies. And what was he proposing? He was proposing that so-called green hydrogen would be from nuclear power plants providing electricity for electrolysis. So I thought, so much for the mainstream, they're going to promote solutions or not solutions.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, back to the envy part is because I knew these people like that, authors at that level have a staff, they have people that answer correspondence, they have people that help with research and everything. So that's the only envy I've ever had. But I love my life, and I'm grateful for it. It's been a lot of adventures, hasn't it, John?
Yeah, I like being myself, just doing my stuff kind of thing. And I know there are energy sources that the military industrial complex does have. Confirmed by different agents over the years. Battery placer unit, which I did a diagram with, and that Alexander, my other partner years ago, might know about that. And there's Dr. Franklin E. Mead's patent on zero-point energy. That the patent rights were actually bought up by IBM.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Can you? I gotta find that because I remember I put that in one of the presentations when you had, I think, with Elaine Smitha, and then so I gotta find that. So IBM, unbelievable. I gotta type that in. I'm gonna just keep making
And
notes.
there's the DARPA program, Dr. Bud Duran's project, which is submitted a proposal, but it was not accepted, was on the miniature energy storage systems for deep space traveling vehicles. And the MES GTIC SBIR program by Reagan, which I've on for since 1983 to 2005 when digital. Now they're digital is GTIC.mil on the internet. They have all kinds of cool stuff there. When clients come to me, they talk and I say, well, I don't know if I can do it or not. That's the first thing I say. And you can either take it or leave it, but most of the time they take it. First being a RIA trade business group of people, Carl David Anderson and Joe Hall in Vancouver. They gave me $10,000 to make a display piece, which I made, and they were going to get funding for $25 million, but the funders never showed up. And then I went on to who else? Japan, Thomas, and Richard. Richard Reed, another Richard, who, I made these things. Not a problem. I make them at night when I'm finished with the Navy ships or I'm doing other things. And I test them out, and they worked. And
John's in a time machine right now. He's going back in time and reiterating what happened.
I'm gonna go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. I'm gonna go forward in time.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's what the forward in time thing is going to be fun. Yeah.
The only other scientist I know working on Dr. Mallott, M-A-L-L-O-T, working with lasers, spinning around the time dilation. I'm using myself high voltage.
Did you tell him what happened with the xenon tube?
I haven't mentioned the xenon tube yet. No.
Okay. Well,
Which
maybe
reason?
you don't want to.
It doesn't matter. I could care less. It doesn't matter. What's the worst thing they can do to you? Shoot you or bang you or hit you over the head? It doesn't bother me any. But the xenon stuff is just recent, the last few days. I'm working on that. The Cardon generator. I'm working on.
What kind of generator?
Cardon, Cardon. I was kind of inspired when I read all the secret documents from
Cardon?
DESY. Yeah, Cardon. The documents were, remember Gottfried Hilscher? He let me all those DESY documents that were in red, classified. I think you might have met Gottfried Hilscher.
Oh yes, he plays a role in my finding you in Munich.
Yeah, all that time, yeah. Oh, he let me all those documents that were secret. Had to return them. I read them during the summer, sitting in the sun naked, and read those documents, memorized them. And one of the students from DESY wrote up my stuff. I still have that one laying around somewhere. His theory and what my stuff does do. But.
So the Tardon generator, according to AI, is going to be an access point for consciousness in the 3D to access other dimensions. That's what they said it's going to.
The word Tardon I got from the DESY documents. Chronons, gravitons, anti-chronons, anti-protons, and that kind of confirms when I was on DTIC, what they send me every month, or not every 4 months, I think it was Los Alamos was working on making antimatter. I didn't get the full document, it's classified, but they always mention these things and they're classified. In case you are a regular good contractor person, you can get the access to it, but I didn't have those credentials. But I got to read the primary report and I got full AWRL support, whatever that means. I just going by memory. So Los Alamos into particle devices, antimatter production, or DESY's into subatomic particles. And I often think of Matthew because he's into math. Matthew probably would understand the massive amount of mathematics associated with those documents.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a mathematician, mainly because it's like the hardest one where you can't just like watch something and you actually have to like put your brain into it.
Yeah.
And it also helps to, but like experiment is where I'm key at. So I basically use the math and then see if I can do an experiment on it, because a lot of times people get lost in the math and then disappear into a land of dark energy and other.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So that's that thing. I always try to do one step at a time, get the math, and then bring it back to real life, and then go back in. But yeah, definitely, it does help in like mainstream papers and so on, just to see if I can understand it.
The new Einstein, Matthew.
All right,
the new scientist, Bob Greener.
Yeah, definitely. No, the new Hutchison. New Hutson's the name of the game. I just need a wig. I need a wig, and I'll be the new Hutchison.
Well, what's your goal? Well, what's your goal, Matthew?
It's to I have multiple ones. It's free energy / anti-gravity. Make it in a way that's irrefutable. Like the gyroscope one is basically a preview of some, like a more technical preview of eventual, but like more practical. I'll do the same thing I did with gyroscopes, where if you actually watch a gyroscope and just like absorb it in, it's irrefutable that it's in my opinion, just again debunking mainstream physics, irrefutable. But it's such a small thingy that it's not practically. It still doesn't produce anything practical where you can go and, let's say, charge your computer or anything. So what I mean is, my goal is to eventually do a free energy setup where it can replace mainstream things that we're using right now. Like actually replace, like instead of charging, instead of running my computer on it, actually having a device to do that. But in the meantime, producing something that is on the technical side irrefutable, that it's producing free energy. And also the current one is anti-gravity I'm working on, because I'm waiting for some epoxy glue for the Boyd Bushman experiment. So basically it's whatever you guys were doing, researching, John Hutchison was doing, but in a highly technical way where there's just no debate. Because I've done engineering papers, like peer-reviewed paper and so on. So it's like I know what it takes to show that basically anyone can look at it, be like there's nothing else to do. It's like it's done deal. So that's kind of what I mean. Basically take my same setup I've done with math, gyroscopes and all that, but in a just get more and more so like Tesla coil one is one I'm on pause right now until I get a safer setup. So the name of the game is, again, free energy anti-gravity. That's the name of the game. Like similar to the Hutchison effect, but like actually demonstrate it so that anyone can replicate. Because right now, John was just throwing, even though you're doing everything by intuition, and so on, but you're doing it on a large scale. I'm gonna try to do the Tesla coil in a small scale. So like I bought this one here. I got this one small one. So my goal is do the replication of the Hutchison effect, but on like a penny, so something small. But even this one here, and I was using Grok AI to recommend the best one that I could use for it. So and I put this. So again, this coil was recommended to Grok AI. I used this one here to help fine tune basically exactly how it is, and so on, and I'm going one step at a time. And I'll show you one of the Tesla coil ear. Yeah, this one here. I got it buzzing, and I almost blew my ear off. And I videotaped it during my live stream. Right when it touches, I have a slow motion. There's a zap. My ear almost blew off. Yeah. So.
That's good.
Yeah. So my ear almost blew up. So anyways. So basically, this is like one step, because I don't have a electrical background. I'm more on because I have a bachelor in civil engineering and a master's in mining engineering, and then I just taught myself math on the go, because it's the one thing that felt like a workout was math. Everything else kind of feels like you're just getting information, like it just comes to you, but math you actually have to like work at it. And, yeah. So, but anyways, yeah.
Tesla coil work. Look up Dr. Adrian Marsh, Marsh sometime, not right now.
Well, I should put the notes in. You said Dr.
Because he's part of the team of the Spokane guys, Eric P. Dollard Lab, I think they call themselves.
Yeah.
He's very helpful to researchers. And you mentioned the word debunking, and I want to know if you're the one I can thank for having brought out the debunking of John Hutchison's, the experiment where he had said on the audio that he had high voltage on some little wire, and then somebody posted a video with the audio turned off and said, "Look at the string. This is a fake." So are you the one I can thank for having
that's me.
debunked the debunkers?
Yeah, that's me. And then that was the Ace Baker and Robert Murray Smith, both disinfo agents. So this is where this is probably why I think even the replication one, people I wasn't invited to the Hutchison replication because if I find someone that's disinfo agent, I'll make it public. So there might be some agents that don't want me there. But anyways, so that was me. You can see it was Robert Murray Smith, and the other one, Ace Baker, who covers up 9/11 as well. So here, this is debunking and debunking. It's part of my Hutchison effect playlist.
Yeah. Okay, now I know.
Yeah, so it was me. So I'm the one who made it. And initially, I forgot where, but I thought John was just doing a trick or something. But no, John didn't even tell me like directly what exactly I had to decipher what was going on. And then I realized, okay, yeah, they're all just using deceptively muted audio and so on. And again, this Robert Murray Smith, he's got 500,000 subscribers, probably more, almost like 1 million. And so on.
Yeah, too influential.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is where the Eric Laithwaite one, the main one that debunks Eric Laithwaite is like one of the biggest YouTubers in the world, and the quote debunking was an absolute disgrace. But anyways, this Ace Baker one, you've seen the one where I included the one where he faked his death on live radio. I'm not sure if you. If you remember that one, where he fakes his death on live radio, this guy here who did the quote debunking, this guy, this guy also faked his death.
But I watched what you had there.
Yeah. So he also faked his death on live radio, and this guy here, Jim Fetzer, he actually subtly threatened Dr. Judy Wood when she was writing. So this guy Fetzer, that was hosting the radio show for Ace Baker, doing his faking his death. So this guy actually threatened or like indirectly threatened Dr. Judy Wood to stop because in her book when she's writing Where the Towers Go, she was touching upon the Hutchison effect, and then he once she was touching on the Hutchison effect, that's when he said, "Don't talk about Hutchison effect, or things will happen to you like the other people," and then like but in a threatening manner. And so again, this guy who's hosting this guy who's fake his death and doing a fake debunking. Yeah. So again, it's a big agent world, and also if you go anti-gravity wheel. But also, yeah, and I think you said you wanted to go. So this guy right here, 34 million views. This is the Veritasium. I'm not sure if you've heard of Veritasium before. This is the biggest science channel on YouTube. 34 million views, and they do an absolute horrible debunking of the Erkleithweit anti-gravity wheel. And so this guy's here. This is what it takes. If you listen to what they're saying, it's complete and utter nonsense. I did a 22-hour long video debunking. Well, and I included them. It's just an absolute disgrace. I think one of the highest comments was me on here. If I go here. So the guy, and this guy here is one of the main guys who covers up Gyroscope anti-gravity. Is this guy right here? And let's see. I think I could have sworn I wrote something here. It should be in there. Yeah. So here. So that's such an absolutely. Yeah. Just 7 years ago. Disgusting. It was absolutely like one of the worst cover-ups I've ever seen in my life. If you want to see how the world's cover up, this right here, 18 million subscribers, and he's posting this one here trying to debunk. But it's so simple. Like he's lying. It's so obvious, but the general public just sees a big name and some flashy stuff. But it's just so bad. It's utterly bad.
I ran into that earlier in my book Breakthrough Power. Okay. I wrote about what the Mythbusters did to John Badini.
Oh, okay.
You know how big an audience Mythbusters built up. You know, and they're given the star treatment in Popular Science magazine and everything, and they're said to be the people to watch. Well. What they did to John Badini was just shameless. Mm-hmm. You know, they said that they were debunking his schoolgirl model. The thing that they built was just a joke. And they brought in somebody from MIT and said, "Oh, we've got an MIT scientist." Well, you've got a sellout. What they had was somebody who just went along with the joke of making fun of this contraption that they built. And of course, it just ran down like, they made a big thing about sounds like somebody's grandfather running down, So the impression that was left with the viewers is that, all this excitement about something John Badini put out is just a big joke. They never contacted John Badini. They never contacted anybody who knew how to build it. They even left parts out. It couldn't possibly work. And I don't know, I really got annoyed, to put it mildly, about the sarcastic treatment. Was just a total lie. It was just trying to divert people's attention from something that there really was something to see there.
Yeah, that's how the world's done.
Mythbusters, they make mistakes in their ballistics of different things they blow up. I noticed that right away.
Oh, sure. They had and they had lots of fun shows, and so no wonder they had lots of subscribers. But when it came to something that seriously could have made a difference, like not necessarily the schoolgirl motor itself, but John Badini's work as a whole, just put it into the ridicule category.
Yeah,
well, I like the poppy seed muffin episode. Poppy seed muffins. You eat enough poppy seed muffins, and you get positive for heroin on your blood test.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that
was a Seinfeld episode, I think.
What?
Yeah, there was a Seinfeld episode. I think he had poppy seeds, and then he was tested for heroin or drugs or something.
But Mythbusters did a lot with alcohol and what happens to your perception when you're drunk and stuff. And you wonder how many times they were drunk when they were drunk.
No, definitely, yeah. Mythbusters, it's good 99% of the time, and then that 1% is where like things where it matters. It's similar to Wikipedia. Wikipedia, you can get the general gist of like everything except the things that matter.
Except the things that matter.
Yeah, and
we'll keep our attention on the things that matter.
Yeah.
I have to leave now, but
definitely.
this has been fun, and
Oh wow.
John, we've got more memories to share sometime.
Definitely. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to say to the audience? We get to tell them right here.
I just appreciate your audience. And
any closing thoughts? Yeah, I think it was great having you, Jeane. Learned a whole lot, and definitely could do this again. And if you ever need to promote anything, any energy conference and so on, just let me know. And
actually, I want to promote people buying at least a, if they can't get to the Chicago area at the 18th, 19th, 20th, whatever that weekend is of this month, which is coming up very fast. Then get the virtual ticket. I'll put.
Is it on your Substack? Where do you get the links? I sent a link to the books.
No, I should put it on there.
That's what
I could do faster than the Substack is to update my website, I guess, with the link. I haven't blogged on there for maybe a couple of years, but maybe that's the place to put it. But just look up USPA Conference 2025 and get the virtual ticket. And Toby Groats and Charles Benzinger, author of a book about free energy, and
is this
Dan Rogers is going to talk about the Vedic science of Srinivasan. He's a real expert on that, and Alex Percy, who's been a free energy researcher since way back and has worked with people like Guy Oblinsky. So they'll all be on the panel and giving talks, and I'll be giving a talk, and I'll be on the panel. And
is this are these the ones? I'm just wondering which link am I doing? USPA?
Yeah.
Which one? There's this one here, I assume, or
no. It's United States Psychotronics Association, which the name is not something that people or know that much about, because it's one of those things can be either used for good or for bad. And these, of course, are people who, there you go, people who are used for beneficial purposes. In fact, this is their golden anniversary. They've had speakers, way from Tom Bearden's days and Puharich and Tom Valone and you name them. They've been on at USPA conferences, and they've got a tremendous archive on their website.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So,
and that's what I was asking in the email. Like any notes, links you sent, basically it's like use this as a promotional anything you want.
And my Substack is a place to go rather than my website for updates, because I do weekly Substacks, so keeping track of things now.
No, they're definitely Substack's good with the email newsletter. And then I was going to tell Thomas Valone once, if he replies, to get on the Hive blockchain, because you can actually earn crypto as opposed to what was the Substack again? I think it was Jeane Manning.
Ether Or.
Oh, and Ether Or.
But they just go to jeanemanning.substack.com and
Yeah, so guys, go on her Substack, follow her Substack, and so on. And she writes big time articles and so on. And I'm gonna share this. So I put it in the chat there. So I put all your links there. I'll put it into my Telegram. So I have a Telegram. I usually throw everything in there. And again, there's the gun show, John Hutchison. All right. Yeah. What can you do?
Okay. Thanks so much. And bye, Nancy. And bye, John. And this has been fun.
Yeah.
So gotta leave now.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Yeah. You can leave. Yeah, guys. That's all. That's great. Great seeing you guys. And we'll definitely hang out more. And I'll let you know how Tom Valone, if he's interested in joining. All right. Have a good one, guys. See you, Jeane, and see you, John. And
appreciate it. Good seeing Jeane. Talk about good memories we had. Good talking to you, Matthew. I didn't know you bought a metal couple. By the way, I know now.
I bought a bunch. Yeah. All right, she's gone. Okay, she's gone. Yeah. And John. Okay. All right, have a good one, John.
Oh, you too. And Evio says bark, bark.
All right, bye, Mr. Evio. Bye, Nancy. Great seeing you guys again. And adios. Yep. Cheerios, guys.
Adios, amigo.
Cheerio. See ya. All right, guys. That was epic stream. I'm gonna go and end the thingy here. Where's the stream? All right, guys. Thanks for joining. All right, have a great weekend. Yeah. So peeps like my debunking the debunkers was. That's the thing. It's like here at MES, if I get something, if I think I got something right and someone says it's wrong, I'll do mathematical proof, either or. So I go wherever the math goes, and if that means the person's lying, that person's the debunker's lying, then that's the way the cookie crumbles, and I'll just trash them. All right, Integrity Research Institute. All right, thanks for that. Is that Larry in? This one is. I'll put this here. I think this is the Tom Valone one, Institute. I'm putting a bunch of stuff here everywhere. There you guys. Whoops. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, guys. Anyways, guys, ending the stream now. Ending the stream in 3, 2, 1, and Cheerios. Okay, Swamp 7's a good show. Thank you for sure, Matt G. Thanks for chatting. Have a good night, guys. And end the stream in 3, 2, 1. Cheers.